I would like to try that out one day.
Vodka tampons.
Yeah.
It's a hit craze. Or doing shots in your eye.
Schoolies is week. Have you guys been following that? It's gone nuts. Yeah, on Instagram.
Oh, God.
Look, hashtag schoolies, and it's people just like jack each other off.
Why would you want to see that? I mean, if you do, that's fine, but...
Well, it's just the chaos of it all. I always appreciate that.
As soon as there's chaos, someone just jacks it off.
No, someone jacks off someone else.
With the youth of today, like, how are they using this technology to just go nuts?
By posting pictures of their dicks.
Yeah, probably. That's how you know it's a crazy party when someone gets their dick out.
Really?
Yeah. Remember we used to talk about that?
That's going to be my question of the week.
I've already put one in for you, Fred, because I knew
saw
you
that
wouldn't
one.
forget
it.
What was
Question
it?
of the week.
I can't even remember what I put in for you.
What is the sexiest type of science?
Yeah. It's a good question.
Science of the butt. The outside of the butt.
Are you recording?
I'm not allowed to answer the question of the
Fred
week.
just said the sexiest science is science of the butt. The outside butt.
Science of outside of the butt. The science of the inside of the butt's probably. I wouldn't.
Fred, now test. Fred, speak.
Hello.
Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever felt like this? How strange things happen. Are you going round a twist?
Okay, hello, and welcome to Fangin Around. This is episode 30. Wow, we made it to the 3 O's. It's almost like our life.
3-0.
Recording this on the 19th of November 2012. I'm James, and I'm joined to my left
Campbell.
and across from me.
Fred.
Secret last name.
We're all in the shed today.
Fred in the shed. Fred in the shed. Fred, what you doing here?
We've
in
got
this
some
shed?
housekeeping.
Oh.
Do we?
Do you want me to cross
Yes.
those cardboard boxes? 'Cause that's going to take a
You
while.
can now find Fangin Around on Stitcher.
Oh, is that as good as Picture?
It's like a cable news network for podcasts.
Did we get picked up? Do we have a deal?
No, I just submitted it and they're like, yeah, okay. But it's kind of like, you know how like podcasts used to have to download all the episodes and then go
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, this sort of creates a virtual radio station just for you. So you just pick out your favourite stations and it creates a radio station which you can just stream anywhere on your phone. That's entirely made up of your favourite podcast. So now if your favourite podcast is Fang Around, you can put that.
Which, of course,
Stitcher.
it is
Yeah,
if you're
for
listening,
sure.
Ryan and Zoe.
And Ryan.
And Ryan. Well, I was going to say it once.
And
for
Robert.
both of them. And Robert.
Robert.
Our 5
Robert.
band.
Well, you know, the 5 ones we know by name.
And all of South Korea, of course.
Well, yeah, but those are the ones we know by name. If you're a fan and you haven't been in contact, get in contact. And
Yeah.
next time we'll include you in our roll
Find the
call
listener
of
mail
fans.
page on fangaround.com. There's millions of options.
You can
to get in
tweet
touch with
us. You can pitch a tent. You can
Yeah.
stitch us up. You can...
Facebook us,
You can Facebook
SoundCloud
us,
us, YouTube us.
Tweet us.
Speaking of which,
No, we don't use
we have a
Twitter.
YouTube page at youtube.com/fangaround,
There we
and I
go.
posted a video of that left-handed ad
We did, but it wasn't
with
the
our
supercut.
commentary on top.
Why didn't you do the final cut?
Well,
With a
I
bit
didn't
of a
have any
wank on it.
actors,
Oh, what? How
but I
hard
did.
is it
I
to
did
find a
sync it
video
up
of
to the
someone
video
wanking?
so you can see the context.
You don't have a
because it
left
probably
hand
didn't make sense.
To just do the shot.
No.
Yeah, you got a left hand, you got a dick, you got a camera. Just how hard is this?
Go on chat roulette for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
sorry,
sure.
mate. Can you do it left-handed?
Or just mirror it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have to worry. As long as he's not using his foot, it'll be fine. I was pretty impressed with how you synced. What your description of the video
Yeah.
it syncs pretty perfectly with
Yeah,
the
so
video.
in a way, it is a supercut because I've synced it all up. I created my own version.
Yeah, but
it
where's
was like
the-
Mitch and Match.
Well, it was like you did a director's commentary, really.
Of an ad.
Yeah,
Of
that's
an
what I was
ad.
trying to do.
Yeah, I liked it. With your vision, you should pitch it to the
Yeah.
network, to the advertising.
If I just send them that video now.
yeah, pitch it to them, see what they say, or just make the cut and just send it back out into
Yeah.
the world. I think that should be our first product as a podcast.
Yeah. But I think to promote Fang Around, we got to make some viral videos.
That can be like sweeting, except
Just add a wank into it.
at the end of the thing, you
So we
just
should
have
just
a scene
we
so
should
the character jerking
recreate
it
our
off.
favourite ads on the
with the jerk
What
off
Swede
scene.
our Swede some ads?
yeah.
Oh, look, I'm up for it.
We'll
that
do
sounds
that.
good.
That Rhonda and Couture ad.
Is that racist?
That ad.
How is that racist?
Well, it's like putting out this negative stereotype of unattractive middle-aged redhead women going over on holiday in Indonesia.
You mean racist against white people?
Yeah.
No.
I thought the Rhonda Katut ad was pretty funny, but I thought the one before that was a little bit offensive.
Which was that?
It was the one with the lady massaging her foot.
Ah,
I thought that was kind of
yeah,
borderline.
but she's a stereotype and they're stereotypes, so it cancels each other out.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Where does the privilege lay, though? With Rhonda, right?
Why? Yeah, but she's on holiday.
Do you think there's going to be a third, like another ad?
Oh, I heard it might get cancelled. There's a big controversy.
Why?
It was national news.
Why?
I don't know. I don't even know what it's about because I don't watch TV, so I don't even know these ads.
It's pretty good.
I've only heard about
Like the Rhonda Katut ones are
Facebook.
pretty good.
There's chemistry between those two. It's undeniable.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I think, did they make, I think they made the two ads, like the one where she's getting a foot rub and the one where the kind of cute guy, chats to her. They must have made those two. And then people loved it.
Yeah, it had like
And
its
then
own
they made
Facebook page, like
Yeah.
Rhonda Katut should have
sexual tension. So then they made another one. Well, they got to keep this going. I mean, they could milk this for the next 10 years, I reckon. Just keep these ads going. People want to know what happens.
What was your favourite sort of racist ad? I remember there was like... I remember there was like this Peter's ice cream or something, and it was like set in Bali, and the guy was like, "Hey, Aussie." Do you remember those ads? I always thought that was... I hope that would catch
That
on. Like
cheese
everyone would
brand?
walk around going, "Hey, Aussie," but it never did.
There was that one where where there were, it was for McDonald's, I think, and there were, maybe it was during the Olympics.
No, there was one for KFC, and it was they had the like not Jamaican, like the West Indies supporters all eating KFC, and they're all black. And then there's
Why
like
is that racist?
there's two white people in the middle. People call it racist because it's like, they're all black. Because I think some Americans saw the ad and they're like, "Oh, how racist are these Australians? Are these like black people eating fried chicken?"
Oh.
But maybe what they failed to understand was that they're supposed to be West Indian people
Yeah.
who are all black, or all of them. But,
Yeah.
so there's this big outcry.
Oh.
Check the ad.
What about the one where there was that, I think it was during the Olympics. I think it was when they were doing all their cultural burgers, McDonald's, and they had a McGoz burger, and the American rappers were there, and they're like, "Yo, bro, there's beetroot in my burger."
Yeah.
That was pretty offensive.
What about the just general concept of the McAfrica?
Did you see that? Did you see?
Pretty sure.
Did you see that McDonald's actually made a really good burger?
bullshit?
That lamb burger?
That lamb burger.
Oh, I had that. It was horrible.
Oh, it was amazing.
No, it was
I
terror.
kept getting him, and it was actually looked like it was the first burger I've had for fast food. It actually looked like it does on the ads, like it's all neat and tidy. It's like a sourdough bread that it was like a lamb patty with like herbs and stuff
think
on
my
it.
problem-
Had beetroot and the fresh egg. It was amazing.
I think my problem is it just tasted like a burger I could make at home.
No, but yeah, but I wouldn't ever have McDonald's unless it was like an emergency. So that's what I like, and I hate having to go to McDonald's because it's just they have the worst burgers ever. And to turn up one day, like I remember just having one. It
Can't
was like
believe they're a
midnight.
burger company.
Yeah,
It's weird.
and because I think their burgers are their worst product. Like I even had one of their wraps once, and they were nice.
Big Macs are pretty good.
I've never been a Big Mac fan. I never got the point of them. Like they got a shred of lettuce and that's your salad.
You go to McDonald's for a salad.
No, but
Well,
I
that's
want a
the new
burger.
McCafe
I want a
menu.
burger that's got a bit of tomato, a bit of lettuce, a bit of cucumber or
You
something.
sound like a Hungry Jack's man.
Exactly. And this burger, they actually made a burger that was better than Hungry Jack's.
Ooh, did they have the grill?
And I love the
lines?
ads that they had. This Slam and Sam. What do you
Oh,
Kekovich.
I'm over him. I'm done with Sam Kekovich. And I'm done with Australia's obsession with lamb.
You're anti-lamb. You don't
I'm
like them
anti-lamb.
killing the
I'm
baby
actually,
lambs.
I'm anti-lamb.
Why? It's just lamb.
But you know
Is
what's?
this a
You know
humane
what's?
thing?
No,
Oh, it's just a.
it is weird because
I
you know
find
what's
it
not.
distasteful.
You know what's not that bad? Mutton. Mutton's a pretty good meat.
No, it's not. What's horrible? You have to stew it for hours.
No, you don't.
We have mutton in this day and age.
Well, my family of sheep farms,
Oh,
so we
okay.
get mutton, lamb chops, and they're way better. You're like big. It's like having a big steak, but it's lamb.
Like supersized.
They're way better than
Yeah, I'd
crappy
rather-
Isn't it
lamb
really
chops.
tough?
No.
I'd-
What is beef tough?
No, but yeah, I suppose usually mutton's old sheep that have been sheared for a long time.
Well, what do you think about veal?
I have no problem with veal.
See, veal makes me turn my nose up as well. So, sometimes they abort cow fetuses, cow calves
Yeah, I
to
saw
kill them so that they never, do anything.
I saw this Louis Theroux where the guy had a bunch of aborted cow fetuses to feed to a pack of lions.
Yeah, well, that's what veal is.
Well, then don't drink
Veal
milk
is
because it's a
fetuses.
product of the dairy industry. You can't
I
have
know.
dairy and not have veal.
Well, look, the thing is,
What veals?
I'm completely
fetuses?
No,
not
it's
fetuses.
really
It's-
young
it's
male
like
cow.
really, really young. Look,
It's like the lamb equivalent.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cow
Yeah.
lamb equivalent. But the thing is, I am completely hypocritical because I do still tie into all of these industries, but and I will eat lamb if I'm like my dad loves lamb, so he's cooking it like every opportunity he gets. And if my dad says come
Does he
over to
ever
for dinner,
have mutton? I think
don't
these
know.
people are just obsessed with the idea of lamb.
Well, I
Because
think,
mutton's got a bad stigma. They need to make
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
catchphrase
They
for it.
do.
Like, we need to rebrand mutton.
well, and now lamb's been branded as like Australia's meat.
yeah,
You know, Sam Kikovich. Oh, think about it, it's Australian.
We've
fucking
stolen it from the
buffets, blah, blah, blah.
Greeks. You know.
Yeah, it used to be a bloody wog food.
Yeah.
Now the wogs
No,
are so
that's not
Aussie.
true.
Yeah, it's
People
totally
are always
true.
eating lamb.
Like who?
Just, since forever.
No, you know what's Aussie? Kangaroo.
Oh, I've ate a fair
Widgety
bit of
grubs.
kangaroo now. It's
Yams.
You can get game kangaroo burgers from Woolworths really cheap.
Yeah.
Like $5 for 4 patties, and there's like zero fat in it. It's all goodness.
Do they taste nice?
Yeah, I mean the
When
burgers.
you're cooking them, I don't know.
And you can always also get them if you don't like the taste. You can get the pre-marinate. They have pre-marinated versions,
plum
so they're
one?
already
My
There's a
housemates
plum
used to
one
buy
that's
these
good.
massive 1 kilo bags of minced kangaroo. And I always used to double check because the English is second language and they do sell pet food.
Yeah.
Which is a massive bag of minced kangaroo.
Yeah, well, watch out. I like kangaroo. When it's cooking, like with with kidneys or whatever, it does smell a bit like urine.
Yeah, kangaroo does have weird smell.
It does have a
Yeah,
bit of a urine smell.
No,
when
it's
you're
not
cooking
urine, it's just gamey.
It. No, it is actually urine. Like it's yeah, I reckon it is. But I love it.
It
Like
has a
it's more with
distinct
steak.
odour.
Yeah.
Also, we talked about this on the Canadian podcast. I've never had crocodile. I always like to have some crocodile.
I've had crocodile.
They sell
You
it
can
in
go to
Sydney.
Stone and get a steak. You can get a game platter. Have you been to Stone? I think it's called
No.
or Lava. I can't remember what it's called.
I have to
Essentially,
go
you're
this place.
cooking. They bring out a stone, a lava rock or whatever, and it's hot, and then you have all the meat cuts, and then you cook them yourselves.
On top of the stone. Okay.
Which I think, God, how hasn't anyone hurt themselves? Like, surely someone
Probably
must.
have, but
Yeah, if you ever get sizzling beef at a Chinese restaurant, it's the same kind of date. Everyone's like has to stand back and go.
Well, anyway, you can get a game platter. It's got like boar, kangaroo, crocodile, emu, bit of each. But this is my hot tip: if you're out at a restaurant and there's a sizzling option, take it. Because every motherfucker in the restaurant's going to be jealous when that thing comes
Yeah.
out. Because everyone stops and looks, It's a showstopper. Everyone, you can't help but look.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, oh, shit, I should have gotten that.
Have you guys ever been to the Mongolian restaurant in Leadville?
I did when I was a kid. I want to go back, but everyone's like,
I went there a few days ago.
Was it any
Last
good?
weekend. It wasn't bad. It was weird though.
I used to go there all the time as a kid, but
I don't think it's changed since you were there.
yeah. But yeah, so I've always wanted to go, but everyone's like, "Oh, why would you want to go there? You can go to all these fancy places in Leadville that are hip and cool."
It has a charm.
My
It's very
favourite
strange,
place
though.
to go is where I want to go on my birthday, but
Hawker's Hut,
no, the Fib
McGee's.
is Fib McGee's the one in Leadville?
It's a bit racist, James. Is it? Why? Because it's an Irish pub. You think it's going to be called Fib
I think it
McGee's?
is called Fib McGee's.
Yeah, but I always get them mixed up because we like the one in Subiaco, right? Which is
That's Rosie O'Grady's.
no, that's not Rosie
Yes,
O'Grady's.
it is.
Not the one in Subiaco.
Oh, that's Paddy McClaw's. Or is that O'Connahan's?
Paddy Maguire's. Where's Paddy
Maybe it's
Maguire's?
Paddy Maguire's.
Oh, where's
So
Rosie
you get so
O'Grady's?
confused. I know Paddy Haddon's the one at the Cass.
Oh.
And O'Reilly's is the one in West Leadville on Cambridge Street.
Dirty Nelly.
Dirty Nelly. Here's another racist ad. Do you remember the one with Nathan Cavalieri playing the guitar? It was a McDonald's ad.
Oh yeah.
Very cool, Mr.
Every now and then I
Cavalieri.
check back
Very
to see if he's
cool.
dead, because didn't he have some disease when he was a kid? And like he started playing guitar to distract from the fact that he had terminal cancer.
I don't know. But you guys think about that ad quite a bit.
I don't know which ad you're talking about.
Him being BB King, right?
Yeah. And BB King's like, very cool, Mr. Cavalieri.
Who's Mr.
Very
Cavalieri?
cool. Nathan Cavalieri. He was this guitar playing wonder kid.
Yeah.
No. And he was in a bunch of like movies. He went to America because he's an Australian, and he was in a bunch of movies. And he went there, and my sister loves this movie that he's in. Like it's like camp, this camp movie where these kids, I don't know what it's called, Camp Nowhere or something. About these kids, they fake their campsite and get their parents to sign off. Oh, I'm going to this summer camp, but it's basically just this house in the woods, like the beach house, and they just go crazy and nuts without supervision.
Oh, do they have Instagram?
And I think they bribe
Do they wank each other
they
off?
bribe a homeless man to be the responsible adult who can sign off for all the different things.
What do they bribe him with?
I can't remember, but Nathan Cavalieri is in that, and he plays guitar on the roof.
Of course he does. Of course he does. What else is he going to do? But that ad, about at least once a week, that pops into my head.
I don't even know which ad you're talking about.
Oh, that's right. He had leukemia, and this led to him playing guitar to take his mind off the disease. But he's since beaten it, so he is still alive.
Does he still play guitar?
He used to play with Mark Knopfler as well, the guy from Dire Straits, and BB King.
He was a pretty
Tommy
big deal.
Emmanuel. He was in.
Tommy Emmanuel.
His music was in the soundtrack for Free Willy 2.
Oh, epic. Was he on the Space Jam album, though?
I remember
That's
some
the
other
real-
weird facts about him that we've probably. I think we've talked about Nathan Cavalieri. on this
I don't
podcast
think
before.
we
I've got-
have.
I get this deja
We
vu.
haven't.
I get the feeling I want to talk about him.
I have
more.
literally no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, my partner gave me a bit of a hard time because I say that catchphrase a lot,
He's
and I say
30,
it to
he's
myself
30
a
now.
lot.
He was born in 82,
Oh, really?
so he was 2 years older than us. When we
Oh God, I feel like I've amounted to nothing. Thanks, Nathan. Very cool, Mr. Cavalieri. Very cool.
I remember there being more information about him. Oh yeah, Camp Nowhere was the movie he was in, and Pause,
Oh, pause.
1997.
Nice. That ad's a bit racist. Because BB King was in it, like, selling burgers. It's a bit racist.
He loves burgers.
Wouldn't it be racist if it was like Kentucky Fried Chicken or watermelons or something?
No, but maybe it's... Oh, I don't know. Can't tell anymore.
More continuing on the housekeeping. Some people. One of the questions we get often is there's some missing episodes, and yes,
Oh,
there
the
are.
lost episodes.
The lost episodes.
too risky.
This is like Doctor Who. We taped over them. We ran out of hard drive space, and we just went over them.
Some of them still exist.
I think
some
we've
of
got the
them escaped the
transcripts.
Great Fire.
I think I got transcripts, so if anyone
yeah.
wants to recreate them, any fans want to recreate some of our shows,
But yeah, look out. Every now and then I might repost one.
it's like when sometimes back in the day with Napster, you'd be downloading tracks, and people would say like rare recording,
Yeah.
which I always thought was bizarre because here I am making an exact duplicate of it. How is something rare when?
Maybe
Would you
it
ever
was
remember
once
that?
Rare.
Yeah, once rare, I guess, but now no longer because
Just because you and someone else has it doesn't mean it's not rare.
that's true. That's true. Do you remember Napster? How cool was that?
Yeah.
Changed everything, man.
I
Remember
miss it.
Facebook?
Listener mail.
Have we got a letter?
We got some tweets.
Hey.
Listener Ryan, Tasmanian Ryan.
Tazra.
We have two Ryans.
Yeah, we've got Belfast
Two fans,
Ryan
they're
and
both
Tasmania Ryan.
Belra Tazra. That's what you're going to be called now.
And Tasmanian Ryan wants to know if we've seen the House series with Hugh Laurie.
I'm aware of it. I've never watched it.
I've never actually watched
If
it.
so, thoughts on the most recent season?
Oh.
Can't.
No,
Never
can't.
watched
we
it.
can't.
Sorry.
But am I correct? Is it meant to be like sort of Sherlock Holmes, but set in a hospital, and he has to diagnose people with all the clues, kind of thing? That's the idea.
Oh, well, I've never seen it, but
I
that's
don't
my
think
impression
it's-
as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's all really weird stuff, and it's like, how
'Cause
did you
he's-
figure that out? House, you're a genius.
Yeah.
I sort of got interested because I must have caught an episode early on, and there was this character played by an actress called Jennifer Morrison, right? And she's a young doctor or in Doctor and Strange, and she had a crush on House, who's like an older doctor, and I was sort of interested in that chemistry that was going on there. But I kind of, it was one of those things, because one of those shows where I think it's more procedural dramas, and I could be wrong, and I didn't want to have to watch 20 hours on TV just to follow this storyline that only takes up 2 minutes of each episode. There's probably a supercut of it on YouTube. I might have to check it out one day to see how the storyline progressed. But
because you got burned when you were watching.
The other reason I liked it was because I
6 seasons. It just
somehow I had got it into my mind, and I had fact checked it on IMDb that Jennifer Morrison was the girl from Ed, the girl of the afro. Do you remember watching Ed?
Yeah, I remember Ed quite a bit.
It was the three kids. There was Justin Long, the big guy who had the stomach lap surgery or whatever, and then there was the girl, and I was sure it was Jennifer Morrison, right? And so I was like, oh wow, she's turned out to be this, like, gone from this sort of fugly kid to this hot woman, And I was just like blown away. So then I didn't watch House, but then I was like, oh, I saw that she was in Big Love, HBO's Big Love.
Uh-huh.
She's playing one of the wives. So I started watching that show just because she was in it, because I loved that. And so I watched all of Big Love, loved her in it. Was a huge fan of Jennifer Morrison in Big Love. Then her most recent show, which I haven't started watching yet, is the Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, right.
Which I think you've watched a bit of.
Yep.
Yeah. And when Ryan asked this question, I thought I'd look up her again, to see what she's up to. And turns out she has this mega brain apocalypse. Like, I thought it was in Darren Brown's Experiment, right? Because, which we'll get to later. But Jennifer Morrison was the girl in House, but she was not the girl in Ed. All right? They're two separate people. The girl in Ed is Jennifer Goodwin.
Yeah.
Jennifer Goodwin with a G. Although her real name is actually Jennifer with a J. She just changed it for Jennifer. And they look really, really similar. And when she was in... They don't really anymore, but when she was in House, when Jennifer Morrison was in House, they had the same haircut as the one... Jennifer Morrison in House had the same haircut as Jennifer Goodwin in Big Love, because Big Love was actually Jennifer Goodwin, the girl from Ed.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm
spinning
following it. Yeah. I'm not spinning it.
And I had tried to connect it, because I had just brushed over it, because I checked Jennifer Goodwin's IMDb profile, and she's in Once Upon a Time as well.
So you thought she was rocking 3 primetime shows at once?
But guess what turns out, right? Jennifer Morrison and Jennifer Goodwin are both in Once Upon a Time. I think one plays the mum, one plays the daughter, because it's in 2 time space.
Oh, yes.
So my head just exploded. I was like, whoa.
Right, okay. Yeah, they play mother and daughter, you're right.
Man, I thought like my whole world was falling apart around me, because I'd been following this actress in all these amazing different shows, and it turns out to be two of them.
Different actresses. And then
and
then in the one show playing mother-daughter.
Mother-daughter, because obviously they do look alike.
They do, yeah. They've got some similarities.
Oh, just my head just exploded. Anyway, I'll put a picture of them from Once Upon a Time. One's now blonde, one's still a brunette.
Yeah, I'd give that show I'd steer well clear of it.
But now I really want to see it, because obviously when I watched the show, I didn't
might freak out
pick up the fact that they were, if they, at least the episode I saw, if they were both in it, I didn't pick up the fact that they were mother and daughter. I thought the same character or something playing, going back. I don't know. I can't remember what.
I think at the beginning it's not entirely clear what their relationship is. That's one of those shows where, it's a really high concept. It's like the idea is awesome, and it's such a cool idea for a show, and the execution of it's just terrible. It's got some of the worst CGI ever.
Yeah,
the plot never seems to go anywhere. Just seems to be constant retread. Nothing's very important. It's really, really disappointing, because I love the idea of it, and a lot of the cast is really cool as well. I guess Game of Thrones has sort of spoilt me in terms of fantasy on television, in terms of what they do.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was just a meltdown here. Now, Ryan from Belfast wanted to know if we've been following the story about the...
Belra?
Belra?
Tazran and Belra.
We're going to call him Belra. Tazran Belra. Also, we just got tweeted Twitter user Zoe J. McGill says, "Once upon a time's a great show!" Triple exclamation mark.
Okay.
So thanks.
I know it's got its fan.
tweeting in.
It's on its
You
second
can tweet us
season.
as Fangin around.
Yep. I wish I liked it. I really do. Because I gave it heaps. I watched like 10 episodes. I gave it a big chance, you know. I really wanted to like it. Didn't quite get there for me. I'm glad Zoe's liking it.
So Ryan Belfast wants to know if we've been following a story about the founder of McAfee antivirus.
I have been.
Who's been living in Belize. I don't even know what that is.
Belize.
And he's now wanted for murder.
Yeah.
And at one point, to escape the police, he hid in a hole in the ground and puts a cardboard box over his head, which was still sticking out of the ground. And they just walked past him.
He wouldn't check every single box.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures. Like, here's some cool pictures
I haven't seen
of
him
him going nuts in Belize. He's gone on the whole... What's that movie in Las Vegas? With
Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson.
He's a bit of Hunter S. Thompson. He's a bit of
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of that. He's a bit of Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now. He's a bit Howard Hughes.
Is he incredibly rich?
He was at one
McAfee
point.
virus would be rich.
At least at one point, he was incredibly rich, and now he's started up a blog, hasn't he?
This is his latest post, and the title is "If I Am Captured." And he says, "If I am captured, this blog will continue. I have pre-written enough material to keep this blog alive for at least a year. In addition, the administrator Chad will continue to monitor comments. He will administer the reward and post any information received. In truth, my continued involvement from this point is relevant." So
Is relevant or irrelevant?
irrelevant.
Okay.
How do they know that this is the genuine...
So obviously he's putting a award. I today announced on Embassy Television that I am offering a 25,000 reward for the capture of the person or persons responsible for Mr. Fall's murder, he's been accused of murdering. So he's on the run and he's writing this blog, and he's obviously madly writing lots of stuff in case he does get captured, so it keeps posting automatically for the next year.
What's he going to talk about after he's been captured? But that he wrote before he was captured.
I don't know.
Seems weird.
I mean, apparently
Anyway.
he used to rent a lot of hookers and things, so maybe he will just talk about some of his sexcapades.
Anyway, it's a great story. I haven't
It's
caught up
amazing.
with his old
So,
blog.
I mean, let's look at this guy. Apparently, he was a bit of a raconteur from the beginning, from the early days of, you know, he used to try to sell all sorts of shit. And then he came up with this idea of, like, basically he was the one who marketed antiviral software, right? It was really his, like, for commercial and consumer use, it was his thing. He was really the one driving this whole, like, you got to have antiviral software. Which in turn, I guess, of course, kind of spawned the viral, you know, people writing viruses and things, you know, it really brought that into the fore. And so he made his mint, and then he started doing all sorts of weird things. He started he started like an aeronautics club or something, where instead of flying planes safely and normally, or even in a stunt fashion, I think the idea was that you'd fly them as low as you could to the ground and race them. And,
Cool.
well, yes, sort of, but he was quite weird individual. And then he set up all these like fake clubs to pretend like, oh, there's, you know, clubs popping up in every state. And they weren't, but he'd just register them all. And then there was this one town where he actually wanted to set up or purchased an airfield. The residents were sort of like, we don't want you doing this sort of crazy plane shit around us. And so what he did was he made this fake organization of like paintballers who paintball in urban environments or something. And he advertised that they were holding a convention in that town, like, in a month. And so all the local media, like, got an uproar about that. And in the meantime, he managed to, like, get his airfield, like, underway. Because they were all outraged about this other thing that he made up. So he's really a strange character.
Have you heard of the Rocket Racing League?
No.
Do they race?
This is this league they're trying to get started, right? Where they race not just aeroplanes like the Red Bull Aeros, but rocket-powered aeroplanes around a course, and they want it to be the next NASCAR or Formula One kind of thing.
I can't imagine.
And I heard about it, and I didn't really take it seriously, but I think, but like Armadillo Aerospace is helping out doing the rockets, which is the rocket company founded by John Carmack, who did Doom and Wolfenstein and Quake and all that.
Right.
I have a feeling that
So there's a
Virgin Galactic is involved.
There's
somehow
a really
as well.
fine line between genius and insanity, isn't there?
I mean, this is the planes that are going to race around this circuit. I don't know how that's ever going to work. Like, that seems one of those crazy ideas that, like a monorail in The Simpsons.
But dude, we're living in the future, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing. These things are just going to keep happening.
For people as ignorant as me, Belize is a country located in the northeastern coast of Central America.
I think it's a bit of like a tax haven or something, maybe?
No, it's like a drug.
Oh, a drug haven.
I saw a documentary on it.
Okay. Apparently...
Not a haven, it's an unfortunate victim.
Oh.
It's like got to be ported in, I think. Or something.
Yeah, and apparently
So
there's a river network that runs
Colombians
through it.
go to Belize and then into Mexico and then into the US.
Okay. Because this guy has a property that's on this delta, and so they're all the local authorities suspicious that he's running drugs and stuff. And if you read the article, it's quite unsettling and strange. And he's incredibly paranoid and yeah, very strange man.
Well, thanks, Ryan.
Yes, we have been
Bellra?
following it, Bellra, and I probably
Ryan
gave a
Bellra.
completely inaccurate rundown of the things he was doing.
Thanks for tipping yourself to that story. It is fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how his blog keeps going. And
So
if
where's
he
he?
gets
Is
caught
he in
and-
Belize running?
Well, people don't know.
I guess that's the whole point.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
It's not his house because he updates his blog whenever his house gets raided because his servant or his wife alerts, says, "Oh, they've been around today. Just research the house."
Do you have that sort of capability here in the studio?
For what?
Like auto tweeting that you're being raided?
No. I do have the ability to post a Fangin' Round episode in the future.
If you get captured.
But then if they just turn the power off to the house, it's not going to work because it just relies on the server that's in the house to do it.
Yeah. First thing the
We
cops
should
would do is
pre-record some shows in case we get captured.
they'd knock down this door.
Well,
and
we
they'd
do have
spill
some
wine
recorded shows, so I
everywhere.
could prepare it, but we need a server to actually post it.
And then we got we got lost episodes that we could post.
Yeah, we could post the lost episode. Well, I was thinking we could upload the lost episodes into like an encrypted archive and put it on the Pirate Bay like WikiLeaks has done, and then we have a system to automatically tweet if we get captured. Like three of us can trigger the tweet that sends out the code to unlock all these unlistened to
that's a
podcasts,
great
like
idea.
WikiLeaks has done with those cables, in case Julian Assange is killed.
What's a great plan?
Follow up. Back on the Canadian special, I think, well, back when the Canadians were on the show, this time last year, they went to the Beaufort Street Festival and they complained about the lack of bins. And I've heard from Twitter this year that they've got plenty of bins this year. So
Oh, great. Good.
it's just some follow up.
So
from
that's
it
our
episode.
podcast making a difference.
Well, yeah, there you go.
We're difference makers.
I think Beaufort Street Festival kind of probably listened to all our podcasts and saw to get some feedback, you know.
I guess this is also.
They should have brought us in as a consultant.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
consultancy firm.
We
Creative
could-
consultants.
Yeah, we got to do a live podcast before Fred goes.
From where?
We should find a
Isn't
venue
this
that
a
will
live
hold
podcast?
us. No, like with an audience.
We just do it in here.
Get some crowd
so we can sit
in.
over there.
Yeah.
She won't have to tweet you or text you. She'll
Yell
just
at me
tap you on the
across the
shoulder.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's some more follow up that transitions into consuming. I watched the Darren Brown Apocalypse.
Oh, is it out? I didn't even know it was
Yeah,
out.
it's just come out last 2 weeks.
And
So let's can you give the listeners a kind of a rundown on Darren Brown's Apocalypse?
Okay, so I mean, we talked about it last week. The basic idea was to stage a world-ending apocalypse for one person, and the person that Darren Brown chose was someone he felt was just taking life for granted, didn't appreciate his mum and dad a lot, didn't have a steady job or anything, wasn't using his talents to his best abilities and stuff like that. And the hope was to put him through this ordeal and that he would learn to appreciate life more. So that's what he did. And I think this was actually good. Like, this is up there with my simple reviews. It's a two-parter, so it's 2 hour-long episodes rather than with the experiments, Darren Brown's experiments. They were like 4 1-hour episodes for 1 hour dedicated to each
topic kind of thing.
topic,
Or
yeah.
stunt trick
yeah.
or whatever.
And this was one of the
Experiment,
better
I
ones.
think.
This is up with the confession of murder thing. And
so so they take this individual and they've
Yeah.
tricked him into thinking there's a zombie apocalypse. Am I right in saying that?
yeah, well, how much do you want to know? Because I assume you're going to watch it.
That's all I know about the show.
All right. Well, they sort of start off by his whole family's in on it. And so his brother steals his iPhone for like a day and gives it to the crew. The crew hacks his phone, like jailbreaks it, his iPhone, and basically uses it so that everything he's done is being VNC'd.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you use VNC, but it's like how you control other computers.
Okay.
But he's doing that, which you can do on an iPhone, so they can see exactly what he's doing on his phone, and also they can change
So
things.
what
on
if
his
he's
phone
checking
when-
out a bit of porn or something? Or
Well, they probably saw all that if he's done it. But
it's a bit embarrassing.
they can go and edit websites that he's viewing sort of live. So they would edit the NASA website saying there's an asteroid coming, but they do it quite subtly, you know, just saying, oh, there's an asteroid coming, and they base it around this actual event that actually happens, as you know, because you have these annual meteorite events, because we're passing through this asteroid belt at a certain time each year with all these particles that create the meteor showers. So they time it with that, but this time there's some larger unexpected fragments, you know, and they sort of all building up, and it's all in the background. It's not until they actually get him on a bus for this to go. His brother takes him to a concert, and they go on a bus, like kind of like the they do here with the Swan Valley. Like you get on a bus and go to drink wine, Swan Valley, and hear bands and stuff. Yeah, and they go on that, and then while they're on a bus, the event happens, and they start blowing up cars and stuff around him.
Really? They're blowing up cars.
Yeah, so because it's obviously the bus is on a fixed route, it's quite easy to set up.
Yeah.
They explode cars. All the other people on the bus are actors. So it's really well thought out. The problem comes is then, and I was getting excited because I thought, oh, this is really cool. But then once the explosion starts happening, Darren Brown he's obviously been sitting in the back of the bus the whole time, walks up to him and does his hypnosis. Right then.
He hypnotizes him.
Yeah. This is where it all falls apart, because you've got to believe that Darren Brown can actually do hypnosis for you to actually believe that this is a real thing. So that's the big thing. And then they put him in hypnosis state, and then he happens, like, as you know, he wakes up at a military complex kind of thing, and everything's going on.
Why would they have to hypnotize him? Why wouldn't they just take him to a military complex?
Exactly.
Too obviously the world hasn't ended
Obviously,
on the way to the military
this is the
complex.
problem when a magician does this thing, so you have to believe that this thing.
See, at least with the one where the guy was convinced he was murdered, the hypnosis was limited to while he was asleep, and it was like an auditory suggestion, and I can believe that, you know, or I can just believe that he was fast asleep and didn't wake up. Like I don't have a problem with that. But if he actually walks up to him and does like a bit of
he literally walks on the back of the bus and grabs him, puts his hand over his face, and he's suddenly in a hypnosis state. It's just so stupid.
Now, there's been a bit of controversy about this show.
So there's been, in the media recently, there's been saying that they looked up the guy who's meant to be in it, found his Twitter page, and boom, he's an actor. You'd think they've spent a huge budget recreating the apocalypse, right? And they haven't even bothered to look up this guy's Twitter page and see assuming that this is all fake. They haven't even bothered to hide the fact on his Twitter page that he's an actor. You'd think that's the first thing that you would do, is that people are going to Google this guy. You want to get rid of that stuff while they're making this show, which they made the show a few months ago, so it has time to disappear on Google.
Yeah. That's a bit strange. So what do you think? Do you think he's an actor? Or do you think he's an actor and a crap actor and he was chosen because he auditioned for something and they were like...
Exactly.
And he was like... Darren Brown's like, oh, what a dickhead this guy is.
So
Let's get him on the
it's
show.
possible that he does part-time acting as well, and he's not a part of it. I'll say that if he is an actor, he should win the Oscar because lot of the... his reaction to the event, that's the bit I don't really want to spoil for you. His reaction to the event seems fairly believable because it's super low key. It's just him.
What, while things are exploding?
Pardon?
Is he low key when things are exploding?
Yeah, he's just sort of is like, what the hell's going on, you know? And it's pretty weird. Even they have a brilliant director directing him as an actor, or that's really thought about how to make this believable.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in it that there's really good moments where they're really believable actions. Like the only thing that really threw me out was the whole hypnosis thing. If they had done the whole thing about hypnosis, I would have been sold on the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this one. I liked the murder one.
I will say, right, that one of the characters they create for him to interact with, to get him to be a more responsible person is he sort of meets a young girl on the way, a 14-year-old girl who's lost her parents and she's freaked out. So he sort of has to become the father figure of her because it takes place over like 3 days. So they've
got an actual 14-year-old girl, or is it like an 18-year-old girl that looks pretty young?
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's revealed that the actress is actually 22, but she does look 14.
Wow.
But I thought, have you guys seen the Dateline's How to Catch a Predator?
No, but I know the concept of the show.
You should. It's a awesome TV show. You should go on YouTube or wherever and find it and watch all the episodes. It's great. Basically, they get people to pose as. I mean, it's sort of run kind of like how the police do it. They get people online chat rooms to pose as young people and allure these people into these houses, and basically
that's entrapment, isn't it?
No, because they have a choice. They're not blackmailed into doing it. As long as entrapment's only when you have no choice. Like, obviously, it's entrapment if you say, if you don't come to the house and rape me, I'll kill your parents. That's entrapment. So they come up and they always turn up with like a pack of condoms and stuff like that. Like, that's one of the things.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
But that's it. That's one of the things they can do to prove intent is say the
Jimmy Hats
actor
in your
says
wallet.
always tells them to bring extra condoms. You know, so there's no way they could confuse it for a non-sexual
encounter, not for a balloon show.
But I'm like, they should combine these two shows, right?
What, the Darren Brown experiment? Plus How to Catch a
he convinces
Pedophile.
someone to be a pedophile.
Yeah. So they create this apocalypse for this one person, right?
No.
And then they team him up with a young kid, and there's all this
but the whole
chemistry
point
between
about
them.
How to Catch a Predator surely is they're catching people that under normal circumstances
That's entrapment.
Yeah, you're talking about completely different set of...
No, but they should get people into this situation where like they've turned up to the house and suddenly it's like the apocalypse and they have to survive, and then
No, but they're all going to be molest children anyway. They don't need the apocalypse for it.
yeah, but I'm just saying to combine, make it extra entertaining at the same time and to catch and to hit two birds with one stone. You know, this amazing entertaining show about tricking someone to this apocalypse, but also put him in jail at the end because he's a kitty fiddler.
So you just want to like take normal shows and put a pedophile in there, and like
No, just combine Darren Brown's Apocalypse with To Catch a Predator.
Well, is this also for a bit of like psychological torture for the pedophile? Like you're really stressing them out by putting them in this.
Yeah, because
bizarre
To Catch a
situation?
Predator, it's all staged as well. Like you turn up to this house and the kids they're waiting for him, and they have a bit of a conversation before the camera crew walks in and said, "Hey, you're being caught being a kitty fiddler," you know.
You could do something like that with like a haunted house. That'd be kind of cool. Like walls stuck.
Anyway, I would love
To see if they grow a conscience at some point.
I think
Well,
you could,
yeah, to be like, oh, you're going to hell, and then they're like, oh.
I think
That'd
you
be
could make
okay.
a great show.
So that'd be okay for it.
If you just if you get them to the house and then you just screw with them.
Do
There was
haunted
that
house
show
routine.
that
Yeah.
used to be on late night on Channel 9 that did that same thing, and they used to scare the crap out of these people. And they had
Remember
one
Fear Factor.
That's back.
Oh,
that's hosted by Joe Rogan.
it used to be
That's the
hosted by
greatest podcast
Shannon.
that's not fake
Doherty.
around.
Really? I don't know.
No, you're thinking of the cool one, I think.
Oh, what's Fear Factor? Is that the one where they just lay them down in a tub and like put spiders on them?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one where
Mike
they
Willis?
stage
Oh,
like a
Mike.
murder, like
Yeah, yeah.
someone storms in here and stabs
Yeah, yeah,
James
yeah.
to death, and then I'm like, ah,
Yeah, yeah,
and then a
that's
camera
it.
crew comes in and it's like,
And,
ah.
and it's also it's also hosted by some episodes are hosted by the guy from Ed, I think, Michael
Michael Black.
Black. Yeah.
No, Michael Black. Really? Remember that great web series they did? Michael, and someone else. Stella, yeah.
Yeah.
That thing was amazing.
Yeah. And that was the pre-YouTube days. You had to
Yeah.
download the episode.
Yeah, that was huge.
That would have gone off now. Did you link to the Louis C.K. Catholic thing? No, someone else.
No,
did.
it wasn't me.
Have you seen his little skit about investigating the Catholic Church?
No.
I've never seen Louis C.K.
Should get into it.
I should.
You-
There's a big.
I put
to
it
get
on
into.
your drive.
Yeah,
his TV
I'm
show.
still working through Breaking Bad.
All right. His TV shows.
I've got like 5
He
seasons.
just said, he told the cable network, say, just give me the money. Don't ask me what it's for.
And they did it.
Yeah, but he asked for 1/5 of the budget of like Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
but the condition was that he can do whatever he wants. So basically, each week he makes 2 sort of short films,
Yeah.
like 2 10-minute short films, and that's the show. So it's complete creative freedom. So it's really cool. It's like sort of the films I do, but you know he can actually do it for real.
Cool.
And he can actually get really good actors in to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
not like me.
No,
You're not
but
an actor,
Oh well,
Cam.
fuck you.
You're really good, but you're not an actor.
No, it's true.
Michael Black, I'm
still. I'm probably like more prosumer level of acting. In that, like, if I wanted to, I could turn it into a profession, but it's more of a hobby.
That one thing you did.
That one
8
thing I
years
did
ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah. That's the one. Boy. So Michael Black, he was in Ed. He was pretty funny in Ed. He was like the Jack Black. Have Michael Black and Jack Black been in anything together? Are they related? That's the
They
other.
kind of
I
look
don't
similar.
think so.
They both got the same last name.
Probably.
It's enough for me.
Did you ever watch the Stella TV series?
Didn't I? No. Is that different to the web series?
Yeah, because the web series was just them making short films, and then they got a TV series based on
and was it crap? Were they told to clean up their act?
It was better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be clean, yeah, but it was still okay.
Because it was pretty foul. Their web series. It was pretty revolting. Apparently, he wrote an amazing book, Michael Black, I think, about being a dad and a comic and how depressed he was.
Oh yeah, I haven't read the book, but I've heard listened to all the podcasts when he was going around promoting it, and
Yeah.
it does sound kind of interesting. The book.
Yeah, and people are saying it's like really confronting and uncomfortable, but
It's
really
quite
good. And really honest.
He's a total troll on Twitter as well. He's always saying, if you follow him on Twitter, he's always trying to get the attention of other people. Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine him being like that. He always struck me as such a charming character. So what else is in our show notes? What are we on to next? So we've spoken about Darren Brown's experiments. Have you ever wondered if your life is just one big experiment, like The Truman Show?
I think it was called Spy TV.
Yeah, that sounds like something where they bust in with a camera at the end. What was the one with Shannon Doherty then? What was she?
Oh yeah, it's based loosely on Candid Camera. This show features hidden camera segments and used to get revenge on a friend or teach him a lesson. And yeah, it's basically just scare the
What,
crap
like
out
don't
of
be
him.
a pedo?
Yeah.
No, Spy TV doesn't sound scary at all. I think... You know what I watched? When I was in the States, I happened to watch this TV show where it was like, hey, you think your boyfriend or girlfriend's like still in love with their ex? Let's find out. So they like organize this couples retreat. So say say Fred. No, we'll talk about Fred. Let's say Fred's like suspicious Zoe's still in love with her ex. You would like contact MTV or whatever and be like, I'm suspicious Zoe's still in love with her ex.
That's not what I sound
And MTV would be like, well, Mr. Baines,
That's
sorry.
what I sound like. You got the voices the wrong way around.
Okay. Well, Mr. Baines, let's get you booked in.
Scare tactics.
Scare tactics.
Yeah, and Spy TV, they were both same concept.
So they'd take you and Zoe away, right? For a romantic weekend. You'd want
Yeah.
a trip, right? And then, boom, her ex is there. And then it'd be just like an accident. Like, oh, I didn't expect this. How awkward, right?
Yeah.
But they'd be filming the whole thing. And then they'd create all these situations where, like...
What, they have like a horseback ride
Yeah,
at the beach or something?
you'd be like, oh, I've hurt my back. I can't go. You two go. And then they'd be in a jacuzzi together and you'd be like watching. And they'd be like...
That's just,
trying to get it on.
They did that in Big Brother.
Life
Yeah.
and a show.
Yeah.
They did
And
that.
imagine, like, what are you supposed to think about your partner after that? Like, fuck you.
They did that in
Why
Big
would you
Brother
put me in that
Australia.
position?
Big
Yeah.
Brother Australia one year, where the twist to the Big Brother season was that there was going to be a couple in the house, and they revealed that straight up front.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they revealed till like a month in that one of the other housemates was also the ex-boyfriend of the girl in the couple, and she had to, if she managed to last that month or whatever without letting her boyfriend finding out. And they were also undercover as well, but there was also this extra level undercover where the ex was in. If she didn't let her boyfriend find out that they were also an ex, she got a special prize. But they told the ex-boyfriend to be ultra flirty with her, and because she doesn't want anyone to know that she's not single, she had to go along with it. So the guy had to watch him. He didn't even know it was her ex-boyfriend, but him and her, like, all this chemistry and stuff like that and tension.
Whoa. That's pretty crazy. And then the guy, were they like, if you hook up with her, you get
I think so,
100
yeah.
grand.
Break them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And then was it revealed that she's actually 14? And then they pretend there's the apocalypse. I still think they should flood the Big Brother house at the end. Because it's all walled in. Flood it. And the victor, like, rises up out of the water and has to jump over the edge.
Throw in a few sharks.
Yeah. It'd be awesome. Oh, release some sharks. Flood it up to,
I
like,
would-
shoulder height. Put some
Being the
sharks in.
producer of Big Brother would be a dream job of mine. I would
Why
just
don't you start-
mess with them.
You know who was a producer in Big Brother, or at least worked in Big
I'll give
Brother?
away my main idea, right?
Oh, is this a freebie?
Yeah.
If you're listening.
Because I want if I don't ever get the job, I want someone else who will be the next Big Brother producer to steal my idea.
You should ring them up and be like, look, I'll do the next season for 5% of whatever
yeah.
the budget is, but just let me do whatever I want. And you'd probably get some kiddie fiddlers in there and have
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
old time. Yeah.
Well, I think that what they need to do is put like a total asshole in, right? Because the main gimmick of Big Brother is that you can't talk about nominations. So you get to vote for people each week, but you can't discuss it at all. So what my idea is to put a total asshole in who messes up with everyone. And so obviously everyone gives like one of their votes to him to try and get him out of the house, because I don't know if that's like that in other versions around the world, but in the Australian one, everyone kind of just expects it to be a holiday, so they always vote for the people that make it not a holiday.
They want to have a good time, man.
Yeah,
What's wrong
so
with
they
wanting
always
to have a good time.
So basically get him, but his votes against him don't count. So it gets
So
all
he's
the
invincible.
Yeah, he's invincible, and it gets all the way to his like second last housemate. Obviously, the winner's always decided because he's a plant, but all the housemates sort of just turn on each other because they think that they trust each other to vote for him, but he's not getting voted out. So they all start turning on each other, going, "Oh, are they strategically not voting for him? Am I going crazy thinking that everyone else likes him but not?" And they start to fight with each other, and that will create a huge amount. Just that simple plant. Because they're not allowed to discuss it, they can't. They start thinking everyone's lying with each other and stuff like that, and faking about who they really like. Because this one guy isn't getting left out, and that sort of happened this year, where this one girl who was popular on the outside survived right to the last night.
Yeah.
And everyone hated her, but the public liked her because as sort of silly was she are, and she possibly is mildly retarded, I'm not sure. That's not a reason to vote her out, but that's why the people inside wanted to vote her out. But everyone on the outside saw the fact that she was the only person who didn't bitch behind anyone's back, and she was a nice person.
If I could be Big Brother producer, the one thing I'd do that would probably make the biggest difference, bring back hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be it. Done. It doesn't even matter.
What would be in the house?
I wonder if-
Everything.
You know what?
Make
I wonder
hot
if
dogs
our
the
listeners
producer.
have. I'm not sure if I've ever put in the show notes. I need to find some representation of hot dogs to put in the show notes. I feel like on the Fangin' Around page we need to become a bib, like
Bibliography.
what do they have at the end of books of the
Index.
words you use?
Index.
Or glossary.
Glossary, yeah, of things like that. So hot dogs, and we need a definitive link to show us
A YouTube clip of him being hot.
what represents hot dogs to us.
It has to be hot dogs up late.
Yeah.
I won't accept anything else.
Okay.
To me, that's what hot dogs is.
Imagine if we got hot dogs on the show.
But does that
one
give
day.
him the context of who he was and how he got that job?
Doesn't matter. The job is enough to tell you.
Well,
tell you
have that. Have him at his peak, and then have him. You need that news article where he like,
Got a gobby in some alley.
and that says it all.
That's it. Okay. So I need you guys. We'll start a new Google Doc page to get prepared as before we launch it. Things that we need to put in our glossary for the
Recurring
website.
themes.
Yeah,
Hot dogs.
just stuff that people might want to explain because we bring it up. We don't want to have to put it in the show notes every week. You know.
Well, we don't want to just describe it. Hot dogs.
What we've been consuming, Fred. What have you been consuming?
I found an old hard drive. So I
With the photos of the day that will not be spoken.
No, not that old.
He wouldn't tell you
Wouldn't
anyway.
yeah, couldn't tell you about it off air.
No,
maybe.
I know.
That hard drive does need to be. We'll talk about that later.
Can you give it to me before we go so I can try and recover stuff off it?
Yes. What have I been consuming? So I found this old hard drive. I fixed it, and it was filled with shows from about 5 years ago. And one of them was Kenny versus Spenny, which I've talked about before, but I don't think you guys have ever watched or.
I've seen some of it, and I've listened to
I've never
podcasts
heard
with
of
the
this.
creators on it.
What do you think of the show, Kenny versus Spenny?
I saw the appeal of it, but I could not watch more than one episode. I sort of watched one episode. Oh, this is what they're talking about, and then
Yeah. So I used to love it, and I've rewatched it, and I was like, it's kind of weird.
Can you give us a bit of a?
So there's these Canadian housemates, Kenny and Spenny, and they have challenges, right? And they just do the challenges, and the
Is it-
loser has to do a humiliation.
Is it real life?
Is
it docudrama?
I struggled with that for a long time, but I'm pretty sure it's real.
Is it? Is one of them a pedo?
No pedos, but they do things like just all sorts of stupid shit, like.
Is it a bit jackassish?
Yeah, and who can stay blindfolded the longest, who can drink the most beer. One of them was who can produce the most, like, ejaculate in a month.
Oh, yuck!
who first person to get a stain loses. They have
What,
to be
like
keep-
just a stain on your clothes?
Yeah, like you have to keep a chicken on your head the whole time. Who can wear a diaper the longest?
Oh, yuck.
So it gets quite disgusting. And one of them, Kenny, is this really uptight, always plays by the rules. He's a bit of a loser, to be honest, guy. And the other one's Kenny, is always sort of the devious one who doesn't go by the spirit of the rules and always trying to screw Kenny over. So it's pretty good.
Kenny versus Spenny.
Yeah. So it was just strange to rewatch these shows from a long time ago.
Where are they now? That's what I want to know.
Because they were going to do
Well,
something.
when the auto search came up with Kenny versus Spenny season 7, so they made at least 7 seasons.
Oh.
But it was so low. I don't know if it was low budget. It was just them in
You
their
mean
house.
no
right?
budget?
Yeah.
Like,
And they each had
hey, wear a diaper. Okay.
yeah, and they each had a camera crew, like a cameraman and a sound guy following them around.
Shit.
I can't remember if we discussed. Can you remember when we had the Canadians on? Did we ever talk about the Trailer Park Boys?
I wasn't here when the Canadians were on.
That's another thing when it comes up with, because is Kenny versus Spenny Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another thing that comes up when people talk about it is Trailer Park Boys, which I get the impression it's like their version of Kath and Kim, but it's about of like dodgy bogan Canadia's version of bogans.
Canada's.
No, Canada.
Oh. Sorry.
If they're Canadians, they come from Canada, right?
It makes sense.
Say how Aussies come from Oz.
And Australians come from Australia.
True.
New
We don't
Zealanders
call them.
come from New
We should
Zealand.
either Canada, and we call you Canadians, or you're Canadians, and we call you from.
And we call ya.
You say you're from Canada.
Sure.
But yeah, if I know we have Canadian listeners, write in, even if you're offended, I call you Canada. Tell us what Trailer Park Boys means to you. I'd love to know. So,
That was about all I've been consuming.
didn't get any of the new games? Modern Warfares,
No. I'm over
Call
there.
of Duties,
No.
Halo 4.
No. I'm quitting Xbox. I'm ramping down.
So what are you playing?
I started to replay Borderlands 2. But once you played through, you start at the beginning and it's a lot harder and it's too difficult now and I just get frustrated. So then I started playing Just Cause.
You didn't do
2.
enough side missions the first one.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, probably. Playing Just Cause 2 and that's fun, but it's got its flaws and that's about it. Sometimes I play Forza 3 when I'm super bored.
What do you race? This is Fangin around, after all.
Well, it kind of gives you a new car all the time. I tried to recreate the sweet Corolla I had. So I got the closest thing I could find was like an 67 Datsun or something like that. Kind of looks like a 74 Corolla, so I was like, that's good enough.
Okay.
So I painted it brown, and then I put a really big motor in it.
Just like...
Well,
Your
like I
Corolla.
wanted to do, like my dream was, and it holds its own against sort of like a supercar because you just upgrade it to buggery. But yeah, it's really good. So I've always wondered with those games how they work, whether they actually model like the code like a car with 4 tires driving around a track, and like an engine that puts out like power, or whether it's just like a sort of
Well,
blob
I don't
that
know
floats
if
around
I
with
don't know if
numbers.
Forza does it, but the Forza exists because it's trying to be a rip-off of this game series called Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
In Gran Turismo, they do stuff like that. Like, they actually simulate tire wear on the ground and the traction you get.
So there's a
Yeah.
super detailed physics engine.
Yeah.
behind
Yeah,
it
so
all.
It's insanely detailed. And Gran Turismo, I think, is exclusive to PlayStation. It's not even on the PC where you expect that kind of detail. On PC simulators, you expect that kind of detail, but
Yeah.
I don't know if Forza 2, whether Forza's like... Because I find Gran Turismo insanely boring. I don't know if you guys... But I don't know. I know Forza 2 came in, they wanted to... Because it sells heaps of copies, Gran Turismo, when it comes out. So that's why Microsoft created the studio that created Forza purely to compete with that. And I don't know whether they were like, oh, you know, what would be cool if we had Gran Turismo, but it's actually fun to play? And they don't care about all that weird simulation stuff.
It's really quite detailed. It seems quite deep.
But you know what you can do with Forza is you can connect like multiple Xboxes, and each Xbox runs a window in your car. So you can have one Xbox running this window, one Xbox running the window on that side, and then you have the one Xbox running the front window. So you get the simulated view around you of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
So if you want to buy me a copy of Forza, we can link up our Xbox and see if it works.
What, you have like your...
You might have to buy 3. I will borrow my... Yeah.
We should probably have a playthrough. Talk about it. Actually, all of us play a game like
Because I got
this
really sick
for
of...
Fangin.
Of
Well, you know what would be
stories,
cheaper
basically.
is if we all played Real Racing, which is the iPhone version, which I talked about when
How are
I
we
got
supposed
the
to
McLaren.
do that and surround like 3 iPhones?
I'm happy not to be playing. I'm happy to watch.
But what you can... No, well, if you all... It's only a couple of bucks, that's it. It's a lot cheaper than buying $60 versions of Forza.
No, I bought it for like $20. I'll buy you a copy of Forza if you want me to.
What, 2 copies, $40, or $5
Why do we
for
need?
2
Why do we
copies?
need? Why do we need?
And I already
3
own it.
copies?
You already own Forza 3.
No, I own Real Racing.
Oh.
And what you could do is it links up onto your Apple TV. So all 3 of us would have Real Racing on our iPhones, and we're all racing on the TV as split screen, and we're controlling it with our... like.
I don't have an iPhone. Oh,
You have an
I've got
upper touch.
An upper touch.
which you never
Can't you just
bring.
bring over
Can't you
Forza
bring
and
that?
Yeah, I'll
can play
play
it?
Forza.
I don't understand why we can't.
Yeah.
Because it's only 2-player. If you
Well,
want
that's
3-player,
okay. I
you
don't mind.
need.
Someone pass the pad.
Yeah, just watch. Like the good old days of NES and actually even SNES had a 4 controllers. So yeah, the real good old days of 8-bit gaming.
But
come
when
back
he
to
goes
life. When you go to Boulder, Colorado,
and he won't have an Xbox because he says he won't buy one over there.
I might.
I don't know what you can do with yourself if you're not banging Colorado girls, not smoking weed, and not playing Xbox, Fred. You're gonna go nuts.
What is there? What do people do? Like life. Like,
you're gonna start hiking and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
but they have mountain lions there.
I'm gonna learn to ski. So we got sharks here. I still go in the ocean.
yeah, but we are raised to know
You
how
can
to deal with
choose. You
sharks.
can choose not to go on the ocean, Fred. You
can
live on the
choose
land
not
in
to-
Colorado.
I don't think they come into the city.
Yeah, they're attracted by all the
Yeah,
garbage cans.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get a gun. It's America.
Hey, you're going to be smoking
Are you
weed.
gonna get a
getting gun. You'll probably be driving a big old pickup.
I'm gonna do
Without
none of those
Fred,
things.
without girls, weed, or video games, you're gonna buy a gun and you're gonna go postal on this town. That's what they do in
I don't
Colorado.
do those things that much.
But that's what those kids do, in Colorado when that things happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Well, I
things
won't
happen.
buy a gun. I don't even know if I'm allowed to buy a gun.
What about a dildo?
Probably won't buy a dildo.
But are you allowed to? Because some states they're like, these things are for novelty purposes only.
I haven't looked into dildo laws in Colorado.
All right, you might want to check it out. Well, you don't want to get over there and be in trouble because something's in your luggage or, humming away. Homina.
So while we're talking about video games, I'll go on to what I've been consuming. I've re-picked up Red Dead Redemption.
We talked about this before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast because I checked my last save. I picked it up and it was this time in 2010, before Fangin even existed.
No, I think we have chatted about it because we were talking about stories, like short stories of games.
All right.
And I stumbled across, we were talking about all the Minecraft First Night stories.
Yeah.
We were talking about DayZ stories, and also Red Dead Redemption. I was telling you about the ghost stories that people.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, because it's the most recent game from Rockstar, and the reason I picked it up because there's a new trailer for GTA 5 came out, and I got a bit excited about that. Even though I'm pretty bored, it just seems like it's GTA 4 set in a different city.
Haven't they all felt like that since
Nah,
3?
the one in Miami was awesome. Well, I said in Miami, but it said in the 80s
So
in
you
Miami, so that was
you play one of them. You grew up on one version of that game, and I played GTA 3, but I never played the storyline. I just mucked around. And then I think when I first got an Xbox, one of the first games I got was Bully, which blew me away. It's still my top favorite game. It's probably the most fun game you can play as well because the thing about it's like GTA, but you don't have to murder people. You just they have heaps of mini games and
you might like Mario Party then. You don't have
but
to
this
kill
is
anyone
not just
and it's
pressing
all
one
mini
button.
games.
You've got some sort of
Sometimes you rotate the trackpad until you get a blister on your palm. Sometimes it's button pushing.
And anyway, so it's the most recent full-on game like that. Like their game this year was that one that was in a movie with Marky Mark that came out.
Ted?
No,
No.
they made a movie of it. Max Payne. That was their game this year, and the next year the game is GTA 5. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption, it's just this amazing world you go into and you're in the Wild West kind of thing, and you...
Is it the wiki Wild Wild West?
Yeah, but
Jim
it's just
West.
this amazing atmosphere. You're in this world, and you're playing... I play it, surround sound, and you just feel like you're in it and stuff like that.
Is there a HUD?
There's like a little map and stuff. But it's just super immersive. Like, there are ways to like skip to different missions, but it's the main thing I enjoy about it is just going. You get on your horse and you just ride between your missions, and you're in Amsterdam. There's times delaying. They do have the moon completely stuffed up, but you walk in the house. It's like a quarter moon, and you walk inside a house, and when you walk back out, it's like a full moon again, which is stupid. But I guess for practicality purpose, if you want to play at night, they have to have a full moon all the time because you're not walking around with torches. So I can understand why they do that. But you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but I think maybe when we were in high school or first year out of high school, we together used to talk about this ultimate video game. And we had this idea of like it would be set in sort of northern Australia, and you go pig hunting, and that was sort of
That's what we came up with.
yeah.
No, I think that was James's idea, which we brainstormed. But yeah, I remember.
Or maybe it was
talking
my
about-
idea, and then we brainstormed and branched out. But you would have it was set the game would be
Central
centered around a town,
yeah.
and you go out and hunt pigs to do stuff. But then there's all sorts of activities like you could play cricket at the local oval and stuff like that.
You could play 2-Up.
2-Up, yep.
Yeah. Buy a beer. Upgrade your stereo system.
Yeah, upgrade your guns for shooting stuff, and that's how you made money is by shooting animals, and that's what they've done with Red Dead. It is that game. Like they've listened to what we said back in 2002.
Oh,
or
I've got a
whatever.
new follower. Heads up. Hey, Donna D.
Yo, Donna D. You
What up?
have?
Yep. Just saying. Sorry.
I think she already follows the Fangin around.
Maybe she started.
She came. She's been in this shed, and she didn't
Whoa.
get freaked out. Unlike
Oh, bullshit.
what
Has she
Fred's
been
trying
back?
to sell to Jacinta.
Has she
Hayes.
been back?
No, because none of them will come back. I would
Hey.
totally get her back. Donna D, if listening, come on the show.
So they've
It's Donna
made...
the lot. Donna D.
I know.
All right,
I know.
okay.
Have you had Bernie Mac on the show?
No, but she
I was
would
just
come
curious.
on.
She's
Yeah,
still
probably.
around.
I saw the other day, and she wanted to.
Get the old crew back together.
Yeah, she
I don't
wanted
think I
to
ever
because
met
like
her.
because before I went to
You never
Brisbane,
met her.
Met her maybe once, briefly.
you've never met Bernie Mac.
I don't think so.
She's a filmmaker now, or sort of.
So they've made our game in Red
Yeah,
Dead.
they made that game. You can go out, and I think it has co-op modes where you can actually go out together and hunt animals together. They have like we had the idea for different games like 2-Up and cricket. You can go, I think you can go to the pub and gamble and do all these sideshow games, and it's all atmospheric, and you can hunt animals, you can skin them, and they basically made that our dream game.
That's pretty
I
cool.
played it for a little bit, and then I gave up on it.
Right,
after
'cause that's
30
you like-
seconds.
You're like, I just want to shoot stuff. You
Yeah.
want to get into the story and.
No.
Unless you're sick of
I
shooting
was
stuff
playing.
and then you play Forza.
Yeah.
I played the game, and one of these characters that I sort of come to like almost died and almost started crying because I was.
See, I didn't want
involved
that. I
in
didn't
the
want that
atmosphere.
kind of. I don't want that kind of depth. I don't want to be crying.
What's wrong with a bit of squirt? Just from the eye. It's good.
Not why I play games.
But anyway, the second trailer for GTA 5 is out, and they're going to have 3 characters, but of course they're all male. They still haven't had a female character.
Oh,
in the series.
Misogyny Express.
I know.
Dude,
We're
all
we're,
aboard,
we're a
Rockstar
feminist
Games.
podcast, and I'm going to
We
say
are
that.
super feminist. In fact, I'd describe us as fem Nazis.
Yeah,
And this show is political correctness gone mad,
yeah.
essentially.
I made the female when I played Saints Row.
But that's-
lead a female.
There
Was
was.
that just
I don't
like
know
a
if you
perv
played
on it?
GTA.
Yes.
um,
I mean, no.
4, but this is a spoiler I'm going to talk about.
Whoop, whoop.
But you start, there's a dating mechanic in GTA 4 where you can date girls, but one of them sort of plays into the story where and she turns out to be an undercover cop.
Burn.
And she's, for Rockstar standards, she's a pretty interesting character. And I was hoping when they were going to bring out the expansion packs where they had different stories in the same city, I was like, man, it'd be awesome to see her side of the story, but from a police's perspective, it'd be awesome. But of course, the 2 expansions comes out. One was in a biker game, one you're another gangster. And it was just such a generic thing, and that's what GTA 5 seems like. You're just playing another 3 different gangsters, but one of them happens to be black. So that's their diversity
palette swap.
handled.
Why don't they? I mean, it'd be a cool angle. Like, if you could play GTA 3, what would be cool? If you could play... No, sorry, GTA 3. If you could play a GTA game, the first playthrough you can play through as the criminal. And, sometimes... You remember in Mario Kart, right? You'd set the first lap, and then you could race against yourself as a ghost. Imagine if you could play through the
Wow.
game, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
based on your behavior, it created an AI.
Wow.
So it would record your sort of response. So it'd be recording. It'd be setting certain rules for how you like to play. And then the second playthrough, you play through as a cop. after yourself, and that AI would be responding in the way, it's clocked 60, 80 hours of your style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Then you get to be a cop and try to take yourself down.
Wow.
That's free, Rockstar.
Give it out.
Free.
We're
Take
full of
it.
the ideas, man.
Well,
I think we're internet archiving this so we can.
yeah.
But that's...
But we're a creative consultancy firm, essentially. We're a think tank. Come to
Yes,
us with
a
your
think tank.
problems. We get creative on a regular.
Yeah, I just wish... Even, like, the expansion pack for Red Dead Redemption, guess what it was? Zombies.
Oh, fuck me. Why? Why?
I actually would have loved, like, GTA 4 if one expansion pack was like this alien race and landed in the city and you had to fight them off. That
You know what would be cool?
That would be
Well,
cool.
we've done GTA
Like,
8.
Even the zombies would have been more fun in GTA 4 in a city, not out in the desert, you know.
Well, I mean, GTA what? Which one was in the 80s? Miami.
Miami.
Are they going to do one
Vice.
in the future?
Vice City.
I don't know.
Pretty cool.
That's what Saints Row the Third is.
Well,
Is
you
it?
know what? The latest Call
It's
of
like a
Duty.
weird
Okay,
alternative thing.
another thing I've been consuming.
Black Ops.
Yeah, say it's Row the Thread. Yeah, that's in the sort of in the future. Yeah, the latest Call of Duty. I started playing that. My brother lent me his copy on the PlayStation 3, and the opening is just so bad that even though the reviews say it's a better single player than the previous, it's got to get good soon because the first half an hour to hour is just so bad. They even have cutscenes, which I don't think they've ever had a Call of Duty game before. You sort of the storytelling in Call of Duty is all like you get thrown
Integrated.
into this. There's like a briefing, get thrown in, and the story's given to you like over the radio as people like do this, do this. This they actually have like cheesy sort of cutscenes of. Oh, it's just. I thought I was playing a joke. I thought I was in a Darren Brown experiment again. Like people making
It's
a
gonna
joke
plague you
saying,
for a long time.
"This is going to be."
I think it sets you up with this paranoia.
Yeah.
Watching it, you're like, what if this is like... Yeah. Sometimes I wonder that.
I do think God sometimes is watching me and giving me clues, and I really should pick up on them, but I don't.
Nah, he's got to balance all these Milky Ways and galaxies.
The other
and
day
shit.
I
He
was,
can't, he can't think about you, Jay.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other day
Sorry.
I was having
A kebab?
I had some
Wank.
brandy, so I was going to have a brandy and
I was going
soda.
to say brandy.
and then there was some wine that I could have. I was going to have the wine, right? But of course, I knew in my head that it was a bad idea because you shouldn't mix drinks. You'll wake up tomorrow with a headache, right? And my wine glass just tipped over.
That's because
I
you're
think
an
it was-
alcoholic.
I think it was God saying, "Don't drink that glass of wine." But of course, I just poured myself.
Yeah. You're like, fuck you. Where were you when I needed a movie deal?
I've got this new job where I'm doing stuff in Osborne Park. I was saying, and,
Light industrial zone.
and I just deal with a lot of receptionists now.
I bet you'd love that.
Oh, I'm loving it. And
What's the job?
just delivering mail. I'm basically like a
courier?
cross between a postman and a courier. Yeah.
Cool. Have you
And-
got a uniform? Do you wear a safari suit?
No, it's just a generic shirt. And it's weird because there's other companies in Osborne Park that obviously have bought the shirt from the same supplier. So they have the
Yeah.
exact same shirt to me, but just have a different label on it.
I've probably got the same shirt.
Yeah.
There's like 2 companies that do team shirts,
Yeah.
and they're fucked. It's awful.
So you drive around just delivering post.
Yeah, I basically pick up their mail from their PO box and deliver it to them.
What are you driving?
Just my car.
Oh,
So,
so that the 911 or the
the Echo, Toyota Echo.
Oh, okay. I'm just keeping up appearances for listeners.
Yeah, sorry. But I deal with a lot of receptionists. Only one of them is male, and
Do you deliver his post last?
just bin it.
and he's in. I hope he's not listening because he's a strange guy. He's like, I think he's American or Canadian. He's North American.
You should have said there were 2. To clarify, there are two male secretaries, aren't there?
Why?
In case one of them's listening.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's not you. It's the other one we're talking about.
and he wants to take the mail from me in the bag, right? And then he empties the bag itself onto the shelf behind him, and then he gives the bag back to me. You know, he's got this process, like he's very specific, and he's North American. I'm not sure, but so he's got an accent, and he's like in his late 40s to early 50s, I think. So I'm like, what are you doing in this job? And it's nothing wrong with him. Like, he's maybe like an amazing receptionist, but and he seems pretty on it. He's got his process and everything. But anyway, the women. But there's I've already got a crush. And,
Of course. How long have you been working there? Have you even done a shift yet?
I've been working 2 weeks, and and it's a bit of a swap. Like, I had this one crush, and then
Someone better came along.
Yeah, someone better.
Oh, God.
Well, because there's one.
Why did you find a married woman and now it's on?
The classic story that plagues me my whole life. Like in the first,
The one you like is
the one in the first
right?
week. No, the one in the first week was I liked and that was fine. But then in the second week, the one that I thought that was the stuck-up bitch turns out to be the nicer one.
Happens
You're
all
breaking
the time.
down
And
barriers
she-
to the delivery
Yeah,
guy.
and she always, since she's gotten used to me delivering her mail, she's really nice to me, and she always really wears really nice hair bands, the whole back of hair.
Yeah.
And so
Background for listeners, James is really into girls' hair.
yeah, that's my thing. I'm some people are boobs man, some people are legs man, or whatever. I'm a hair
Pontifex
man.
likes hair.
So I'm thinking Christmas, I should buy her a really nice headband.
You will get fired from your job.
Christ, you know if it doesn't go well, you have to see her like every
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not gonna.
That's a bit creepy.
I'm
though.
not going to put any weight on it saying you have to accept a date from me. I'm just going to give it to her.
That's going to be even weird. What, you're just going to like... Listeners at home can't see, but you're just going to rock up with this thing and just be like...
Well, the aim is up
and then
until...
walk off. Just,
For the next month up until Christmas,
Balls
I'm going
in
to
her
try and
court.
find out her first name. And then just slip into the mail the hairband in an envelope with her name on it. So she
No,
will get
that's
it.
super creepy. You can't do your normal trick of looking at their credit cards when they bought them.
No.
because the balls on the shoe's on the other
See,
foot
that-
now, isn't it?
Because I think you might be able to buy a gift that's as an outsider delivery boy that's too good. If you buy her, if she's really into headbands and you buy her a headband, it could work well. Oh, he really knows me. Or she could just go, well, how the fuck does he know? How much has he been watching me and
He
thinking
comes in
about
here
me?
every day and he's like creeping on me.
Yeah.
But headband's not like creepy. It's not like I'm buying lacy lingerie or anything.
It's pretty personal, though. She's going to wear it.
Yeah.
doesn't
And then
have to
the next
wear it.
time
Maybe you
in, and
spermed
she's-
on it. She doesn't know.
Well, if I keep it in its original wrapping, is that what you're saying?
Is that the take-home message you're getting from what I'm saying? Shit. Fine.
I wish we did Fangin' Around back with White Skates Girl. Did I ever tell you guys about White Skates Girl?
White skates girl.
I think I've heard about white skates girl.
Yeah, well, I made videos about her on YouTube and stuff. But this girl, she was like a mystical object. While I was working at Chaos, I used to walk down there. She would overtake me. She'd wear all black, like skin-tight clothing. She was a brunette, and her hair would fall in the air, and she'd wear white rollerblades, and she would skate past me every day. And I eventually found out she worked at Sienna's, which is a restaurant right next to Kayla's. And
It's like Romeo and Juliet with the two Warwick
and
families.
for the record, in this situation, I didn't make the first move. One day I was walking home from work. This was just down the road, and she was skating past, and she was on the other side of the road, and she crossed over to my side and said hello, and then yeah. Well, yes, because it turns out she's Brazilian, so she's like she's got a Brazilian
She's a
accent.
big fan of those old masseuse ads with Sven. Hello.
And so and she said hello, and then she floated off, and I thought I was in a dream because
No.
She had actively decided to cross the road and rollerblade past me just to say hello, because she obviously knows me walking past, every day, because we obviously had the same shift at 6:00. So for Christmas that year, I created a Christmas card, but I made it out of I made real sort of roller skates out of a card, and actually made wheels that actually turned, like you could flick them, and I put like a little hinge in the wheels so the wheels on the
Did you make it
rollerblades-
all out of
yeah.
your pubic hair?
No.
Did you rub one out onto it?
And then I gave it to her one day. And it was funny the day that because the funny thing is, as soon as I made it and I put it in my my apron in the pocket, and she just disappeared for a while. And it wasn't till like Christmas Eve that I finally saw her again. And I was walking home. She was still on shift, but she was serving the tables outside. And she saw me, came up to me and hugged me. And while she was hugging me, I slipped it into her apron pocket. And so she didn't find it until she got home. And then she got it. And then she asked me out on a date later on.
Oh, what?
So this could work. This could be like...
That actually happened?
Yeah.
You never fucking tell us anything.
Well, I think...
Yeah, I think
If
I
you'd
would've...
following my Twitter account, you would have...
Oh, you tweeted this?
But then you
We
weren't
can
even on
check
Twitter
that.
back then. This is
We
like...
can check
Oh,
that.
well, sorry. I'm sorry our friendship had a bit
This
of a
was
lull.
the summer
while,
of-
while I wasn't on Twitter.
This was the summer of gaining weight to impress the girls.
Ladies.
Yeah. And it worked. This is one of the things that works.
I like how you're just like, you're trying these theories.
Yeah.
Not the normal kind of the tried and tested ones, but you're like developing hypothesi.
Yeah.
On your hypotheses?
Policies, I don't know.
You're a scientist. What do you develop?
I only develop one at a time, so...
Yeah.
Oh.
Hypothesis.
What you
Can't do two.
I like how you're developing your own hypothesis and testing it. Does it work? Yes, no. Let's try the headband in between the envelopes trick.
Yeah.
Sealed in plastic.
In its original packaging. But how are you going to address it to her? Just what? To receptionist?
No, that's why I'm hoping to find out her name in the next month or
How
so.
you introduce yourself? Hey, I'm James.
That's probably what I should do.
Yeah. Hey, I'm James. That's you.
I'm worried that I
You
may
come here
have.
often?
I'm worried she may have introduced me on my first week, but because it was just too many because everyone was introducing me. I can't remember it, so I'm worried she'll be like, "You don't even remember my name."
Well, you could just be like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot your
Sorry,
name."
yeah, sorry.
And then she'll go like, "I never fucking told you, you creep. Just give me the mail." And then you can say, "I'll give you some mail." You know what I mean?
The other option I had was, I mean, I don't know how Fangin' Around's going to succeed when you move and Harry's gone, but it'd be. I've always thought it'd be cool to have Fangin' Around business cards, which had the.
Can't you get free business cards for cheap?
Yeah, I mean, I want something nice that sort of explains how to subscribe and maybe
Business
have a
cards are
QR
pretty
code or
cheap
something.
things.
And then I could just drop down just like, yeah.
Oh, just by oops!
Here's my card.
Business cards for my podcast. They spilled out everywhere. I can't be bothered cleaning these up. I'm out of here.
But the company she works for is
Don't say it.
called.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you're allowed to
say it
I'll
on air.
say it because there's two companies in Osborne with the same name, or this is just the initials ISS. What's my favorite building? in the
Oh,
world?
the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Holy
It's a
shit!
sign.
Maybe she's a front for the International Space Station.
You could ask her. This ISS building, is this anything to do with the
Yeah.
International Space Station? I didn't realize.
The other thing I've been doing is I've been cleaning my room.
Whoa!
So I've
Real
How many
grown-up shit.
cans
for the
of
first
Red
time.
Bull have you found in there? Or V?
Well, I mean, obviously, I clean my room as in sort of like vacuum the actual floor, once every 2 weeks or whatever. But I actually did a real clean where
A spring clean.
looking behind the couch and
Moving
looking
the
under
furniture
things
when you
and looking
vacuum.
inside the cupboards where you've just chucked stuff in to get away from the vacuum cleaner to clean the floor. And the thing is, this is the thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys have this problem because you have stable relationships, but being single,
Dirty tissues.
All these old
Just pile
socks
it up.
crusted together.
No. No. But like artifacts from girls. Like girls just leave stuff behind.
No, they do. They just shed
And
headbands.
I think it's worse when you're in a
the
state
thing is, like,
relationship.
I remember when I was younger, I was sort of naive, like, maybe they've left it behind because they want to come back again. But I think my other option is that they were just wanted to get out so fast that they just ran out and they just left all their stuff behind. But I've just got this pile of stuff.
Maybe they're leaving it as a memento, like bit of inspiration. To
Maybe. I
remember
know
them by.
there's one girl, like, she left a ring behind. I think that's what she did. Like, she didn't really care, but it wasn't like a fancy ring. I think
But she left it for you. Like that girl who left that thing down at the beach house.
I was thinking about that the other day.
The dog girl.
Dog girl? Did we call it
that
dog
what
girl
you're
because we
talking
put the
about?
skirt on a dog?
Yeah. She left a skirt behind. We put it on a dog. That. And then
Is there
the
something else?
That's what I'm talking about.
legend of Dog Girl.
Yeah.
She came to Kayla's one day.
Was that awkward?
I don't think she remembered.
I don't think
remembered her.
We were only really mean to her after she left. Then we started putting things on the dogs.
Also, she like spilt her drinks all over the place.
Yeah.
She was a bit out
And
of
she
control.
tried to flirt with Tree,
And he was in a
I think Bree was
relationship.
there as well. Yeah.
We weren't mean to her. We were mean about...
I mean, put it
relationship.
yourself in her shoes. She turns up in this house. She doesn't know anyone. I mean,
Yeah,
I would probably get that messy as well.
Yeah, and we were probably being dicks, really.
I don't remember
I
us
was
ever
thinking-
being dicks at the beach house.
But would you
of course
ever
not.
try and give any of this stuff back?
It'd be good
Because it's been
You know what it would do?
everything that I found has been missing from their lives for a minimum of like 18 months. So
It'd be a good documentary.
yeah,
A camera crew following you around as you return these things and ask these
Are any of
ladies
them of value, or is it just like,
just
just
connies
a-
and stuff.
no.
diaphragms,
It's just like
bobby pins?
Spermicide,
there's just like t-shirts and
butt plugs.
there's like a pillow. Someone brought their own pillow over.
Oh, that's nice for a sleepover.
Yeah.
Someone left it.
Rings.
Yeah, why don't
all
you?
sorts
Why
of-
don't you?
I mean,
use
mainly a lot of just clothing.
detritus. Did you? Why don't you use this as material? You know.
Because the only person that I'm interested to see again was the one who left the ring, because I would like to know why she even left the ring and then never came back to get it. You know,
Maybe she just forgot about it.
Maybe she
Okay.
didn't like the ring.
maybe.
Maybe it's a cursed ring.
Have you had IBS since that ring's been around?
No, one of the girls did give me IBS, and she left a singlet behind.
Did you? Do you remember me talking about that TV show, The Undateables?
Mm-hmm.
About the various people with disabilities?
Yeah.
And one of the guys, I can't remember what was wrong with him. He had a intellectual disability, because some of them had physical ones or combinations or whatever. He only had an intellectual disability, and he was especially and he was a romantic, a self-proclaimed romantic. He loved romance. He loved love. He just wanted to find someone to love. He was a poet. He wrote all these poems, and they were terrible. And he used to serenade women with poems, and he'd always be doing this romantic thing. Anyway, he was asked to list his likes. You know, the cameraman or the interviewer asked him, and he said, I love romance. I love pasta. I love this, and things he doesn't like. Noisy trucks, spicy food, and IBS. Just like those are the three things I don't like. This is like, oh, dude, just keep it to yourself.
Who would like that?
As if someone's like, this is wicked. Or you know what? I bet there's websites. I bet people do love it.
No.
Yeah, you think that? Did you see that news article about that guy that's been arrested for like the 4th time on a farm?
What was he banging?
No.
No?
He was just having a wank in the cow shit, rubbing it on himself.
Oh yes, we've talked about it on the podcast.
That's the 3rd time, I think, or 4th time he's been caught on the same farmer's
Can't he
property.
just get his own cow shit and take it to his house and do it?
You'd think.
Maybe
Nah,
it's a thrill thing.
he loves
Yeah.
it. He loves a bit of it.
I think he wants to be
And
caught.
apparently he had a box of tissues with him. Like he wants to clean up after himself or something. Like, maybe he gets all caught up in the moment, and then afterwards he's, like, oh, God, I can't believe I did that, full of self-disgust and cleans himself up. I don't know.
Does he cover himself in cow shit?
I couldn't really tell from the article. But, it was pretty filthy. As you can imagine. Anything else?
Where is it? All right. Oh, okay. So this is part of my diet.
Seeing how you have to get thin because you were too attractive?
No, well, just because I'm not out in the world seeking women at the moment, so I just want to be comfortable as myself.
So you got to get thin.
So hold on. If you're out there lady hunting,
I need to be fat.
you need to tub it
When
up a
I'm
bit.
being reclusive, I need to be skinny.
Why are you going reclusive?
I would normally think
Shouldn't you
that's
always be
kind
out
of-
on it?
No, because I'm working on stuff.
Can you...
My only needs right
I
now
know about
is
those needs, Jay.
I need a muse, but
I don't think a muse has to be a girl.
I want a female muse. I have you
Yeah.
guys as male muses.
Oh, cool.
It could just be a thing,
Pun?
Could be an object.
a song.
No, I need a girl to.
I think a muse has a certain
I'm
personification.
aspiring to be a writer. I have female characters. I need to spend part of my time in a female's head, to get the perspective. Otherwise, I think that's really important when you want to be a writer. Which, I think it's a great deal for a girl. If there's any cool girls out there,
What do they have to do to be your muse? Just like sit and...
well, they just have to
Talk
talk
to
about
you.
what they're doing, which most girls like to do anyway. And they're not allowed to have sex with me because I have to. I have
So
to be
ladies,
pretty
if
serious.
you can contain yourself.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. Like, wouldn't you? That's the ultimate thing for a girl, right?
So you listen to them.
Zoe would know what I'm talking about. She's listening. On the New Girl, they have this. They invented this term. I think it was them. They invented the idea of a guy who's an emotional fluffer, and basically you do the fluffing for the. You handle the emotional stuff while other guys get all the sex. But that's what I want of a muse. Is I don't mind being the emotional fluffer because, I want to get all this baggage so I can use that as my
Couldn't you
female
get
writers.
that? And why do you have to cut sex out of this equation?
Because you once you have sex with someone, you feel sort of some sense of satisfaction. You either love them or you lose interest. There's no in between. I find there's no more desire. Once you've seen it, you've seen it all. As a Star Trek guy would say, Jean-Luc Picard. So yeah, the Fitbit. It's a little thing that sits on your belt. Little thing that sits on your belt, and it's a 3D motion sensor. It just calculates how many steps you take in a day, and
So it's kind of like bullet shaped.
Can I have a look?
Is it a suppository?
Looks like a USB drive.
Yeah, but it's Bluetooth and it syncs to your phone, and then the phone sends it up to servers, and then it syncs with your food diary, and it equalizes it because originally, if you don't have one of these, the food diary just assume you have to set what's your activity level for,
and
on
that's
average, because some days I will, I'll just be sitting on the computer all day. Other days I'll be running around, doing at Avis or delivering mail or playing hockey, and you do way more that. So this just equalizes and says if this basically tells the server if I've burned way more calories than normal.
You should eat a shitload.
Yeah, to
But you
make
throw-
sure,
Oh, that's right.
because I've got to hit this target every day, and it's working. I've been doing it for a month now, and I've lost 5 kilos.
I gotta say, you're looking good.
Thanks.
So
I feel good.
because most pedometers are just like up and down.
It's probably you're
And they're
probably
so easy to
adding
fake, yeah.
you're probably adding K's just doing that.
So and they're so fake. So this actually has like a 3D thing in it, so I can tell the difference between a step and like
yeah, you can get
standing up
cheaper
or
ones
something.
that don't count you. This has an altimeter, so it tells when you're going upstairs. Like, because I have to walk up a lot of office buildings in Oswald Park, so that's why I got this one. Well, I don't have to. I can take the lift, but slower. So I figure I can get extra exercise by going upstairs.
Yeah, I always take the stairs. So with the pedometer, does it know if you've put condoms in your pocket and you're like if you've got that intent?
So I attained 6,000 steps today,
Whoa.
and I haven't exercised. That's just normal day for me. I've gone up 14 flights of stairs. Obviously, I live in a second story. I've walked 2.93 kilometers, I think, or miles. I don't even know. That's the one problem with this stuff. It's all in pounds and miles and stuff. And even if they have a translation option, it's always dodgy. Like sometimes I still have to spend time on Wolfram Alpha or Googling, or what's this in, my metric system. So I've burnt 2,840. And so the thing is, right, and that's without exercising. My diet is based on the fact that I only burn 2,200. So this enables to tell me I've got to eat another 600k more calories more.
Oh, slam down another can of
V.
hearty beef stew.
Cool.
But I mean, like, wine is a big. Like, this is like 250 calories what I'm drinking here. So you have to think about that. Like, obviously, if you're drinking vodka, it's no issues. But
Yeah, that's freebie, right?
Yeah,
There's no
freebie, yeah.
30 calories for vodka.
It's distilled. Takes all the fat out of it. Carbs.
But I've been enjoying riding the line. Like you're like, some days I have to keep snacks around because suddenly I might start to feel like I'm about to faint. So I have to eat something just to. Not
so you're
faint.
having the anorexic thrill, I think they call it.
Yeah, you really get a thrill because everything you put in your body, you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it, like you can feel the energy. Like if if I've got a big day ahead, I'll have, I'll have cooked pasta for breakfast to carbo load, and I go out and I feel so much more energy. I've got so much more energy in my body from carbo loading. And like, it's.
Have you spoken to your brother about this?
Yeah, shouldn't you be?
No, well, segueing into my next thing, I have to make an apology. Because some episodes back, I said that my brother was. I slandered him and said that he wanted to kill all the boat people.
Yeah, I remember
We had
that.
some form of clarification the other day, and it's not. He doesn't want to kill the boat people. It's all his co-workers, and he says that he spends most of his time at work at at lunch or whatever, arguing, saying, "Don't kill the boat people." So,
Oh, your brother's like a hero. He's like a civil rights activist.
he possibly does
He's right there on the front
I'm not
line.
sure.
He's doing more than we've ever
I'm
done.
still not sure if he wants boat people at all. But
at least he doesn't want them
He doesn't want them dead. So I'm apologizing live on the show, my brother.
Well, that's
I'm
big
sorry.
of you.
Yeah.
So Fangin around's off. It's publishing a retraction.
Yeah.
Bless you, Fred.
getting-
That's 1/10 of an orgasm rate.
Adult onset
That's what I've been consuming.
Hay fever.
hay fever.
Hay
Bullshit.
fever sucks.
Never had it before in my life.
It can happen.
Campbell.
Yeah, so I've got two things noted down. I stayed up and watched.
We're only just getting through consumption.
I know. We usually blaze through this.
Well, we had
Yeah.
heaps of follow-up and stuff.
Yeah. We usually. I watched the remake of John Carpenter's classic Assault on Precinct 13.
Mm-hmm.
Not even really worth talking about.
Is that the one that's got heaps of capoeira in it?
No.
That's District 13. Can't remember.
Was
But
that the
they're-
Bond film? Quantum
Not
of Solace?
capoeira, but they're going over buildings like French.
Parkour?
Parkour, yeah, that's right.
No.
No.
No, it doesn't have parkour in it at all. Yeah, not even really worth talking about. I watched it. It was on. It was really disappointing.
Okay.
The setup was kind of cool, and then I just kept watching it. Like,
Have you seen the original?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
It was no good. No good. There are a couple of moments where the director was trying to be really clever or trying to do something really beautiful, and then it was... but it wasn't consistent. There was no consistency to it, and it didn't have anything to do with the film, so it just seemed really out of place. Like, he'd do these great shots, and you'd just be like, well, this isn't that sort of film, or why are you doing this all of a sudden when the whole rest of the film's been like that? The tone was really uneven and weird and bad film. And I also watched this show on SBS, and I cannot remember the name of it. And what have I written down? What's my show note?
SBS show on teen homosexual sex change couple.
So that's what the show
Catchy
was
title.
It's a
about.
couple swapping sexes.
Okay, so it was a couple. I think they were both like 16, maybe. This was in England. It's a documentary.
Hmm.
And the TV show was called, like, whatever their names were, like Sam and Dave or whatever. And it was an English couple.
So it's two guys.
Well, it's two teens in a homosexual relationship. Two male teens. But they were both originally born females, and they're both transitioning gender together. But they're a couple. So they're both physically women in a homosexual relationship, but they gender identify as men. And one of them was undergoing...
Sorry, they were born
sex
as
change.
women.
They're both born as women.
Okay. Yeah.
They identify as men. They live as men. One of them's undergoing gender reassignment, so taking hormone replacements, and they live together. And it just followed them over like a year, maybe. It was really cool.
So some
really
parts, at some point, they're actually heterosexual couple while they're in transition between.
I don't think having two half men, half women.
But one of them's getting surgery, though.
No, one of them's having hormone replacement.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of it, the other one had started hormone replacement because they weren't yet old enough to start.
All right,
at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But they were... It was just amazing to look at sort of the prejudice and the hostile environment that they were living in and stuff. Like, all their parents were really supportive of it, or, you know, like, had come to terms with it and were being supportive about it. But just, like, general broader society having issues with it. And it was just really interesting. And, it's kind of sad as well to think that, there's people struggling with these things still. It's like 2012, It's crazy. But also, like, kind of magic that you can think, wow, these people are, like, feel this way, and there's things we can do about it. It's pretty amazing. So
I
2
guess
thumbs up. It's on
also-
SBS iView, so definitely check
it's
it
a
out.
big issue whether if you discover that you're psychologically the wrong gender at a young age, right? I think it's not legal to do it until you're 18 or 21, depending wherever you live. When you become an adult to do it. And so there's a lot of people like petitioning court saying, "Hey, I want to do it while I'm young." And it's like, well, maybe it's just going through a phase.
Yeah.
I had
I think that's fair.
two childhood friends who were completely from different social circles who were cross-dressers. While everyone else was playing Nintendo and Transformers, that they wanted to dress up with the girls and do stuff. And I met one of them again after... recently, he's an actor, so I met him through film circles. And another one of them, I think he added me on Facebook. So I was quite curious to see if they were gay. What's their sexuality? But I couldn't. So I thought, the actor who hung out with a bunch of my film friends hung out with all my other gay friends. Like, that's how I met him, was because he was hanging out with all my gay friends in the film industry, right? And of not just, I should say homosexual, because I think gay assumes, I don't know what gay means anymore, but they're lesbians and males. Like, I'm not discriminating with one sex, but so I just assumed that, oh yeah, he's turned out gay, and that explained why he was a cross-dresser when he was. I'm not saying like that as a bad thing, but then I'm still friends with him on Facebook, and now he seems to have a girlfriend. So maybe he's just. I can't tell if they're just like. She is his beard, or whether they're in a relationship or not. I'm not sure. Confused. I'll never know. Well, it's like a girl you hang out with to be sort of your girlfriend, but you're not in a sexual relationship.
Okay. A friend.
Yeah, a friend. Yeah. And the other guy deleted me off Facebook. I don't know why. I mean, I'm pretty sure he added me and he deleted me, and we never interacted while we're actually friends on Facebook.
Maybe just part of a cult. So
I never got to find out from him what his deal is. But I did a documentary when I was at film school with transvestites, and quite of the 5 that we interviewed, 2 of them, I think at least 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, said that they're not actually interested in gender reassignment at all. They actually want to be men who dress up as women.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
They identify as being a man who wants to dress up women and has sex with men. They're not actually interested in the idea of having the surgery at all.
Yeah, one of my partner's friends in Mexico, does all sorts of stuff, but one of the things he does is kind of like, I guess, queer performance art and stuff, and he does a lot of transgender men dressing up as women. But the sort of drag that he's interested in, I'm sorry if I'm saying
bad pun?
Yeah, maybe. No.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I'm using any terminology incorrectly, but the sort of cross gender dressing he's interested in is the kind where it's not an aesthetically successful thing, it's not like, it's more footy show drag.
Yeah.
But he does identify as a gay man, but his cross dressing isn't like, it isn't the sort of Mardi Gras style, like it's, where it's all glitter and it's high heels and it's so overly done, and it's not the style of kind of ladyboys where it's invisible. It's like that sort of ugly drag. I think he described it as to me.
So it's just he puts on a dress but with chest hair and
Yeah, and the makeup's crap, and it's really obvious it's a dude in a dress. But that's what he likes doing.
Yeah. It's like they don't want to be male, they don't want to be female, they want to be on the fence,
But all the borders are just so arbitrary. They're just such fabrications. They're cultural. So any way people want to slice it and cut it and transgress, it's kind of magic and weird and wonderful.
Because I was just the sound guy in this film, and the director went in asking questions like, we want to promote the idea that you guys should feel free to have gender reassignment and have the surgery you want. I was like, I don't want to. I like where I am.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's due to the expense of having the surgery. I don't know.
No, because you could be, I imagine, into drag, into dressing as a woman, and then you can actually feel like a woman trapped in a man's body.
No,
Yeah, but there's people that dress up on the weekends and do drag. This person, we went to their house and they're all living like dressed up as a woman.
Now I got to say, in that show I watched about the couple that were transitioning, one of them had purchased what's called a packer. I now know. And I think we should start referring to them as Kerry Packers. But it's a packer, which is like a dildo, like a rubber schlong, with a ball sack. And you wear it, you pack your undies with it, so you give a bit of a bulge. Right?
Yeah.
So they purchased a packer. Okay? And then they were modding it at home. Right? So their idea, and this person had obviously, this guy had obviously researched it a lot. They wanted to be able to piss through it. So they've got female genital region, and they were going to have like a funnel that they urinate through that then urinates through this packer. So essentially they had this silicone dildo basically, and then they got a rod that they het up over the oven, and then they melted through it. Okay? So I'm watching this thing and I'm freaking out because it's just a rubber dick. It doesn't look amazing.
Is it normal sized, or is it
you could get huge
dildo
ones, and he was sort of saying these are stupid. I think he got the extra small, which was like, I'd be pretty happy with that. And the big ones were like that one we got you, James.
Yeah.
Or the regular.
I found. I finally refound it behind my couch after a decade. Below 10 layers of
fluff.
Yeah, of just rubbish and stuff that I've just chucked behind my couch.
Boiled. Yeah. They were huge, like really enormous. And anyway, they got this modest size one that was still, decent. Anyway, head up this thing on the iron, and he is just poking through this to get through, and then heating it up. And I said to Liz, because we were watching it together, my partner, I said to her, that's the test. If you're actually believe that you're a man and you want to transition, that's the test they should give you. Can you put this hot rod through a dick replica without squirming because if you can't, I don't think you're really a man.
Yeah.
Because my gut was churning watching it, and my scrotum was sort of receding, retreating into my abdomen, and I was just. Oh.
But was this person?
No, it was very business-like. Yeah, we could get through here. I can piss through that. And I was just going, no, you're not ready.
When I was doing
It made me ill.
when I was doing my research for porn,
Hold on.
So you did think about doing porn, filming it.
I've talked about this before. I wanted to make the ultimate porn film. I don't like porn. I don't watch it at all, right? Until, I remember
That's what Garrett Glitter said, though.
I remember you
He
used to
said
always...
he watched it as research.
Yeah, but I mean, you used to come over and troll me by setting my desktop background as goatsy.cx and all the stuff.
That's
like this.
not porn. Is that what you thought porn was? Is that
Right, yeah.
He's like, no, I want busty women having
So
sex.
I don't watch porn except for this one phase where I was like, I want to make the ultimate porn film, so I did a lot of research and I came across this genre of...
It was a good time.
I've heard that before.
I came across this genre of porn where it was sort of like giant black dicks, but it was it wasn't. They didn't just get real black guys with giant black dicks. They got black guys and then gave them giant black dildos, right? Which have sort of super social action. So when they do the cum shot, it just sprays this woman with 20 liters of white liquid at the same time. And I just found a whole genre of group of videos. It was just this, and it was quite amazing.
And I think that kind of that sort of relates back to the question we had last week from a listener saying if porn is for men, why do all the male porn stars have such big dicks and it's so buff generally?
Yeah.
And I think and I was saying, I think it's the spectacle.
Spectacle, yeah.
And it's wish fulfillment, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And this really, fake breasts, all shaved, guys that are ripped with huge dicks. I mean, it's not enough. We need to get guys with 5-foot dicks.
So that's why I wonder who was it made. Is it made for white guys who kind of want to suspend their disbelief and think that black guys can really ejaculate 20 liters of liquid in a second?
Well, there's that whole kind of, there's that slightly, there's that pretty racist angle that gets played a lot in the porn industry of the black otherness, the black kind of barbarians, pillaging and raping the blonde women sort of thing. And whether it's overt or or whether it's kind of pushed into the background a little bit, I think that's a framing reference that's constantly used. There are these racial stereotypes that get played out again and again, and I think that really taps into one of them. But again, it's that whole circus thing as well, that whole carnival-esque.
Yeah.
We want to see the most ridiculous out there things.
Yeah, I mean, in my porn research phase, the things I was most...
It's called puberty, James.
I like how he tries to elevate it above us.
No, it's just I get off on things that are different. I don't get off on porn. I'm not saying that I'm better than someone. I'm just that doesn't get me off. I don't find it. It doesn't do it for me, But the things that I was most interested in my research is the most simultaneous penetrations as possible. Women with. 2 wangs up one hole and 3 in their mouth, it's...
So you were looking at it as a Guinness World Record.
Yeah, it's
sort
an
of
extreme thing, because I was writing my extreme porn movie. I wanted to see what was just the most extreme, porn without having to get into bisecting cocks and stuff like that.
Was your story going anywhere?
No.
End of story. Bisected cock. Alright, cool. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about anything else before we move into question of the week?
Hold on. What's that?
You started off with a point. There was a point to this story.
Yeah, you
No,
sound like
we're
you're
talking
going
about the
somewhere.
Spectre one. That's what I'm saying. That was
Oh,
what,
okay,
during my
okay.
research was like
You saw some amazing
I was trying to
things. Is
find a
that what you're
video
trying
that
to
had
say?
the most penetrations, simultaneous penetrations. You know,
And
What did you find? What were your findings? Did you publish it in
whole
paper?
porn
Was it
research
peer reviewed
phase, yeah.
paper?
well,
Nothing.
there was two. Well, the most that I could find was there was two in
Shouldn't have asked
each
that question.
downtown hole. She had one in each hand, and she had 3 in the mouth at the same time.
That's a lot of stuff.
So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 5.
I can't even do
6,
the
7,
math.
8, 9. 9 was the most I could find. If anyone's got any better, get in
Keep it to
the mail
yourself.
at fanginraround.com.
Oh, Christ. Science for any occasion. Look, we got stuff we can
We
roll
have to
over
do some
into next
science
week.
stuff.
Yeah, Fred, what's science of the
Because
week?
Jacinto will listen to us and hope that we've got some science.
Well, this is what we're missing. This is why we need
So
Jacinto.
follow up, Fred. You've had a week since last week.
On science,
No, Jacinta Del Hayes. What's the update?
fuck. I haven't seen her, so no news.
Okay,
what?
what's your science news then? Fred, you got to bring the science, man.
I found this one cool thing. This is actually in my corner. It's a game done by the MIT Game Lab where, as you play the game, the speed of light slows down. So you start till it becomes like approaching a walking pace, and the whole world distorts and colors change like it would as per Einstein's special relativity.
That's the nerdiest thing.
Yep. Well,
Wow. What?
Is it
So-
actually accurate simulation of what would happen?
it's an accurate simulation of what would happen if the speed of light was like 10 kilometers an hour. Pardon me. So you collect these orbs, and as you collect the orbs, the speed of light effectively slows
Slows.
down till it approaches you.
And then does the game get harder to play?
I think it gets just trippy because everything's all distorted and weird.
Is it? Did they just lower the frame rate? Really? Come on.
Watch the video. Everything just goes weird and colourful. So I haven't actually played it yet. That's the only science news I've got.
Wow. Cool. That's pretty good.
Mars Curiosity rover has started testing for radiation on the surface. Obviously, they tested for radiation on the journey over, and they're trying to keep track of it to say, can humans handle this level of radiation? Can they survive it? And so far, so good. I mean, you still need something in your spacesuit to protect you, but other than that, it seems like it's in the realm
Wet
of
towels.
current technology. Yeah.
Just wet towels under the
Yeah.
doorstop, probably.
But water isn't insulated from radiation.
Wow. So wet towels under the doorstop would work.
Yeah, I think when the spaceships go to Mars, they'll have the actual water tank for their water supply will be in the skin of the aircraft carrier because that will reduce the radiation going.
Clever. My partner's recently gotten into Io, the planet on Jupiter's.
Oh yeah,
She's
that's
been-
pretty cool.
She brought it up just recently and was like, I heard about this. And I was like, cool.
Is that the one with the methane?
Yes.
Did a project on that. So I got lakes and rivers of methane.
No, you're thinking
No,
Titan.
sorry.
Am I?
Titan's the biggest moon of Saturn. It's a big volcano planet, and they flew a satellite through the volcanic plume from one of their volcanoes, even though it was like 500 kilometers from the surface.
Yeah, it blows shit out of its atmosphere
Yeah.
all the time. And it's like, they think
It's very much alive.
They think its core is like boiling or something. So it's because of the gravity and that it's being put under and the stresses, it's like flexing all the time. So the outside's all cracked, but the inside's like molten and boiling hot, and it shoots shit out because it's being superheated. I was reading about something about Olympus Mons, the mountain on Mars. Volcano, sorry. If you're standing on the top of it, you can't see the end of the mountain because of the curvature of Mars.
And it's also the tallest mountain in the solar system. So,
Yeah, it's the tallest mountain in the solar system, which is amazing. It's like 6 times as tall as Everest or something. But because it's so big and wide, yeah, if you stand on the top, the edge of the mountain is actually like beyond the horizon. If you walked up it, you probably wouldn't even realize you were walking up it on its gentlest incline because it is so large. It's so gentle on its gentlest side. And I think, in theory, from the top of it, you can jump out of orbit.
Yeah, well, that's why I
because
wondered.
because
It's
the
so high. Yeah.
It's like you can jump and you're in space. It penetrates.
I don't know if a human could jump, but
Oh,
I'm sure they can make a spaceship that's a lot easier to take off from
that
there.
essentially jumps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's less energy to get into the orbit.
It's
from
like
there.
it's like nothing. It's essentially nothing.
Which makes me wonder why they haven't landed a spacecraft on there yet. But I guess they need more money.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a bit of space news. Some stuff. We found a lost planet. I don't get why it's a planet and not an asteroid.
What? They're adding a new planet?
No, it's a planet. It's not attached to any solar system, so
Oh,
it's
the
just
lost
floating
one.
around in the middle between.
But isn't that just an asteroid then?
No, because this might have an atmosphere.
Or is that what defines a planet?
But if
think
we
so.
wouldn't have enough light from other stars to get energy for things to
No,
live
it'd
on
be
it.
totally
Oh,
dead. It'd be
yeah.
like 5 degrees Kelvin.
Yeah.
How do you know? The inside of it could be doing shit.
Guess it could be radioactive or something.
If it what? So
Who
you think if
knows?
it's
We keep
if it's a really big
adjusting
planet,
the parameters.
gravity would still create energy inside it?
Well, who knows what it's caused, man?
Gravity doesn't create energy. You need fusion for that to happen. And then you get a star.
So why is the center of the Earth warm?
It's either leftover, or I think there's lots of radioactive decay going on in there.
I thought it was just the energy of things compressing that causes
because
friction.
you can compress. Oh, I guess if you have a bunch of gas and you compress it down, it will get hotter. So it might be leftover heat, but it's not actually generating any heat purely through gravity. So a sun compresses things until they get hot enough to undergo fusion. But if that happens, it would be a star.
But who knows? We're always changing the rules. Maybe things can live in absolute coldness.
Fangin car news. Tesla S is winning a bunch of awards, including the Motor Trend Car of the Year. Is Motor Trend a big organization? Like everyone's raving about it winning this award. I've never even heard of it.
Apparently it is. The only reason I know about it is because it's always like, hey, Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Okay.
And it's like, what is Car of the Year or something? That's the other.
But I also heard that it didn't just win because electric. It's actually a really good, nice car to drive, and
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing.
I would love
It
Tesla.
did, it did that amazing drag with the M5.
Yeah. I
It
would
just
love
sounds
an electric car right now because the more I save on fuel, the more I get paid because I get paid in my fuel allowance. My job.
Ride a motorcycle.
I can't carry all the stuff that I carry on. So.
Once Volkswagen Up releases their electric model, just look into it, man. Volkswagen Up.
Apparently, can I clarify? Apparently, according to the internet, so I don't know how true this is.
The most true.
The center of the Earth's hot because some's left over from when the Earth formed. Some of it's being generated by gravitational pressure, but not just the squeezing. I think it's as the tides happen, the sort of whole Earth like wobbles and gets squished.
So it's the moon that's causing that.
Yeah, kind of. And the other half, and some of it
Oh,
is,
the moon's
some of it is
gravitational
radioactive
force.
decay.
Surely the moon's gravitational force isn't very powerful on the core of the Earth. I mean, on the oceans because they're liquid, because they're so flippy floppy, but surely not on the core. It'd be all compressed and under too much pressure for the moon to do
I
anything.
don't know.
Wouldn't you think? I mean, gravity's not particularly.
Because it's
Strong.
like twisting it all and just sort of moving it around, just stirring it slowly.
Well, maybe it's just enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it's enough that it's just, keeping things going in there. Okay. I don't know.
Questions of the week. My parents came to visit last week, and at dinner we got in a huge argument about this. Should you have to pass a drug test to get the doll?
No.
Why not?
Why?
Because if you're breaking the law, should you get the government's money?
And a lot of jobs, people who have jobs have to pass drug tests to keep their job. So
I
why,
think-
if you're getting
what,
free money,
What jobs do you have to pass a drugs test? Apart from
Excellent.
footballer.
Working on the mines?
working in the mines?
Zoe it could be
So
randomly
people
drug
with
tested.
high-paying jobs.
Zoe's could be subject to a random drug test.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. What business is it of a?
Well, the argument is that
You shouldn't be doing.
they work
it.
on a site, so you need to. If you do drugs, you're unsafe, and then it's not. And then so, you can't have some people in the company having it, not everyone. So it's just company wide. So even though you work at an office, doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, I'm not totally pro drug testing, but you can't come up with a valid argument that isn't just it's not fair because if people want to do drugs, they should just be allowed to do drugs.
You know, the thing is, okay, so it was divided. Like my mum and my brother, who are the only people in our family who have high-paying jobs, were like, yes, you should be drug tested to keep your job, right? Myself and my dad are like, well,
Who are like junkies. Were you guys sharing a bucket at the time? We're like,
no, we're just like, if what happens?
you're in the corner.
What happens if you're a drug addict?
And you're trying to get clean.
You have this desire for drugs.
Then it wouldn't matter.
And your
It's like
only source of income, which is the dole, gets rejected. What do you do? Do you just stop taking drugs,
Get off
or do
drugs.
you burgle people's houses or mug you?
Yeah.
But that's not really an excuse.
Are we going to rely on these people to just say, "Oh, that's not really an excuse," or
No.
the other argument is, well, they shouldn't be spending on drugs; they should be spending on their family because obviously kids are the thing. And I have
agree
been
with
to the
that,
supermarket plenty of times where people are trying to sell their food cards. So I know that at some point in the dole, you start getting given food cards instead of gift vouchers for Woolworths and Coles instead of getting straight money because obviously you've been abusing the system. I don't know why else they would get those cards and why they'll be trying to sell them to you at the market. But you know, it's a big argument. I still feel like, you know, like to get the dole right, you have to prove that you're been applying for jobs. If you're a drug addict, you should still get the dole as long as you prove that you're going to drug rehabilitation classes, you know, and stuff like that.
Look, taking away people's money isn't going to be helping them, so they need other forms of assistance.
That's my belief, yeah. But then my mum is like, these people just don't learn. You've got to give them the tough love and say, you're not getting any money.
Well, the tough love just makes people wind up on the streets.
And, yeah, become homeless, become smelly people in your city, or they mug you or break into your house.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I understand that notion, but it's just, it doesn't work. And if someone's never going to get better, or that's just like an expense that our society has to cover, that someone's never going to be self-sufficient and they will never clean up their act, we just have to assume that that's just going to happen. We're trying to find something that's clanging.
these are your rechargeable batteries, I think, Campbell.
Are they mine, are they?
They were in the amplifier for the microphone.
Yeah, they are. Holy crap. Okay, well, that's probably... Oh, here it is. I found it. It's the zippers on a wine glass. Zippers clanging.
That was my question, mate. Fred, what is the sexiest type of science?
That's a question that's been asked to me,
by Jacinta Dehaze.
not of me.
This is a question
Not
that's been
by
asked
me.
to Fred because Fred didn't prepare his own question of the week. And Fred, what did you answer earlier tonight?
I answered butt science, but on the science of the outside of the butt, which I believe there is one.
Proctology?
Someone did a study of what makes the best butt.
What did they find out?
Well, I have to Google it. It might take some time.
Was it peer reviewed?
I think it was.
And what was it? Just a bunch of guys.
I know
looking
on
at butts?
the Dead or Alive video games, they had a whole team that worked on the physics of breast bounce, and they got in heaps of extras in to, you know, do the motion
Yeah, of
capture of
course
the
they
breasts
did.
and stuff
Of
like
course
that.
they
And
did.
apparently, I read a review about this guy who said it was about the best job he's ever had. Studying breast bouncing. Yeah.
Of course he did. So, Fred, you think...
Maybe I don't. Maybe this article doesn't exist.
Okay, so Fred's...
Sexiest science?
So I'm a hair man. Are you a butt man?
No.
No.
But... What?
You think that's the sexiest form of science?
Yeah.
I was being a bit silly.
But Fred's not into the inside of
So you're
your
not going to
butt.
say what? You're not going to reveal your...
Why do I would... Probably physics.
Is it astrophysics?
Do you think physics
Nah.
is sexy?
Yes.
Zoe's going to be dinging in any second. Sorry, I don't do physics. Ding. But I have a great butt. Dum, chicka, wow, wow. Chicka, wow, wow,
Just not the
wow.
inside of the butt.
I don't know.
How far in is the outside of the butt?
There's a pretty well-defined inside and outside of the butt.
I'm just asking. Can you define where the outside ends for you for sexiness?
It's more the form of the butt than the, like, specifics of it.
What
Do you
sort
like
of
big butts?
I only trust men
I
who
cannot-
like big butts.
I cannot lie.
I cannot tell a lie. What about Kim
What do you
Kardashian's
guys
butt?
think is-
I knew a
she's
girl
the
who
butt.
had-
She's the butt of our age, isn't she? Really, Fred?
Yeah.
This was on my
Why
show
am I
notes.
so
No,
Absolutely
what about
expert.
the
Well, you
princess's
just said.
sister?
Yeah, she's probably the new I way
No,
prefer
no,
hers.
she's like the white, like
Yeah, but her butt's more famous. Kim Kardashian.
Pippa Middleton.
No, Kim Kardashian's butt's the most famous butt in the world.
No, I think
Oh,
Pippa Middleton's
well,
butt's
Pippa.
more famous.
No,
I
that was
think-
all like no,
Because she's
no,
only famous for her butt.
no,
Whereas Kim Kardashian's famous for like
No.
maybe 1%.
and a bit of porno.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's famous
No.
for a sex tape. Pippa Middleton's famous
Only
for a
famous
butt.
for a butt.
Yeah, but you know what that was? That was a whole bunch. Like the context of that was lame.
You don't think it was a nice butt?
All right, she was surrounded by a bunch of like old ladies and children, and she was like the one person that was like decent looking, and was even the tiniest bit provocative with what she was wearing. Not even
Well,
lots.
yeah, I agree. It was
Not
an
even anything.
amazing
And so
dress that
people
accentuated.
flipped the shit out, and
But-
people that don't even like.
But I was
were like,
watching it-
oh, that's a butt, and all women who were like, oh, you men, you should like this butt.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's
no.
like, don't
no,
be telling
but
me what I should like
to be
in a
fair,
butt.
to be fair, I was watching it live.
That was bullshit.
I was watching it
That
live,
was-
and I was
that's like Watergate.
and I just said, "Whoa, that is a nice butt." And then I turned it off because I didn't want to watch the ceremony. And I came back the next
Keep the
day, and the
butt.
whole news was about her butt, not the actual wedding.
was
And I was
bullshit.
like, "Wow!" Everyone agreed with me that was a great butt. But I admit it was a very flattering dress. It was an amazing dress that she was wearing. But she is famous for her butt, not Kim Kardashian's famous for being
She's
in a,
famous for
a
her
crappy
butt.
sex tape.
No, she's
No,
famous
it's
for
the
her
sex
butt.
tape and being shallow.
Subsequently,
And the show.
she's-
she's got a whole show.
I know, but it's mainly the butt. I think Pippa's like.
But she's also famous because it's, people say, "Oh, has she got implants? Has she not?" Rather, no
Yeah.
one questions that about Pippa Middleton.
Nobody's even talking about Pippa anymore. Who talks about Pippa?
We talked about Kim
Considering
Kardashian's
that
butt.
she's only famous for her butt, people still talk
Butts
about her a
everywhere
fair
all
bit.
the time.
Yeah, but
rather
that's
than
just
Kim
'cause she's
Kardashian's
all the time
always-
everywhere all the time.
Yeah, Pippa. This is hype. I reckon this is wives and women going. That's who you should think is hot. That's what I
I
think.
thought they'd
this
be
is.
on Kim Kardashian's side because she's got the bigger butt.
Yeah, but her butt goes to the other end.
It's
her
too
butt
big.
goes.
It's outrage.
Her butt is the same sort of kind of area, cultural region as these guys with big rubber dongs that
Yeah.
jet 10 liters of semen. That's where her butt's headed.
And that's too much.
Women can't compete. Women can't deal.
I did watch a documentary about a Latino woman who had-
She's just so nothing, Pippa Middleton.
I watched a documentary about a Latino woman who got butt implants because basically, she feels as a Latino woman that she has to live up to the expectations of Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, well, look, when I was living in the Mission District, man, you'd walk down the street and there were stores.
What's the Mission District?
Oh, it's just it's like the Latino area of San Francisco,
Oh, yeah.
basically. And there are shops, out on the windows. You know how we've got like Wonder Bras,
Yeah.
Wonder Butts, right? Padded butts that you'd wear under your dress, under your pants, give yourself extra booty. It was out there on the mannequins, butt bras sort of thing. It was a big thing.
Bras.
Well, I don't know what they were.
Spanx.
But
No,
equivalent-
the Spanx is the opposite. The Spanx is like
Yeah.
given a Pippa style. No, this was like
No, but
real
it's Spanx
juicy.
are like
Equivalent
form.
of Wonder
They're like
Bra, but for-
they're tightening everything.
Okay. The Spanx is all about pulling everything in. This is about letting it all out.
Yeah.
And if you ain't got enough to let out, it gives you more.
But couldn't you just get a really big butt by eating lots of food?
No, but you want the tiny waist.
No, that just gives you cartilage, friend.
Yeah. You want tiny
Cellulite.
waist.
James?
Fun?
You mean cellulite?
No, it means cartilage.
Oh, whatever. Same thing.
Not really.
The stuff in your joints.
Yeah.
Big clogged up joints.
But yeah, you know, like if you get the surgery right, you can't sit on your bottom for 10 months. It takes 10 months for it to repair after you've had all the injections and stuff.
So nobody's hitting that.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, I know girls they go to Thailand to get breast implants and they go away for 3 weeks and they can come back, and as long as they hide their scars, they're fine. But with the butt, it's much more serious operation, way more dangerous, and you can't sit down, so you have to get a standing desk if you work, and you have to
butt implants.
always have to sleep on your stomach and not roll into your back. And
But there's all those like ghetto
It's a lot of work.
ghetto
It's
plastic
almost like,
surgery
why
where
do
they
you just-
like inject all sorts of industrial
there's
chemicals
probably
into
cheaper
the butt.
alternatives, but
There's all sorts of freaky stuff that's going on. So there's this real division. You watch a lot of films, or just a lot of media, and it's like, you know, does my butt look big in this? And then J-Lo came along, blew the lid off that. Suddenly in popular culture, the butt was big.
She's not the first person to have a big butt.
She was the first to make it sexy.
Marilyn Monroe had a huge butt relative to today's
Oh,
standards.
well, you know, back in the day when real women had curves and a nose job and bleached blonde hair, you know.
Did she have a nose job?
Yeah. She was Jewish. She had a big
hey,
nose.
you know what I just found out? Jennifer Aniston had a nose job. Have you seen her before?
Yeah,
at
yeah,
nose
she had a
job?
big nose. What do you reckon, Jennifer Aniston or Angelina Jolie?
Jennifer Aniston's one of those actresses that just does absolutely nothing for me.
On screen, Jennifer Aniston, but in real life, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, because I've hung out with both. I'd say, you know.
Well, you know, apparently Jennifer Aniston is a chain smoker, and I would just be,
Gross.
you know, at least
See-
Angelina's trying to save the world with her UN stuff.
See, that's one of those other ones. This is the Pippa thing. I think
Even if Angelina Jolie
wives
is
and girlfriends
a chain
are pushing
smoker as well.
Jennifer Aniston. There's nothing going on there. It's the most boring person in the world.
So according to you, wives and girlfriends just push boring.
Not mine.
Can I tell you something really revelationary, and you would just disrespect me from this point on.
That's every
When I was
Monday.
a kid, and for the
Did
record,
you used to jerk off to Murder, She Wrote?
no. No. But when
Not
I was a
even once.
kid, and for the
Everyone
record,
did it,
I
James.
did not watch Friends, but Jennifer Aniston was my imaginary friend.
What?
I don't even believe that. I don't know what to...
She wasn't your...
We're not playing One True Lie. One True
No,
Three.
no. This is a real thing. She was my imaginary friend. And
That
we used
show
to,
started
we used
in,
to
like,
hang
year
out
7.
all the time.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston.
I was like 11 years old or something like that.
No, you...
And but I've been thinking of writing like a movie based around that premise of having an imaginary friend of who's a famous.
Make sure you don't put this podcast up because she won't want to be in your movies.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like now that I'm older, I'm like I wouldn't want Jennifer Aniston to be.
So you're going to ask her to be in a film?
No,
where
but who would you want to have?
to be my
This is my
imaginary
this is
friend.
my other question is who
There's a new show with that guy from the IT crowd as someone's imaginary friend.
or someone
should check
stole
that
my
out.
Who do I
idea.
want?
Yeah.
Who do I want to...
But you know
for me
what,
to be
James?
If you could have
someone's in
someone
your-
famous, if you want a
Just
famous
imagine it now.
if you want someone famous of the sex you're attracted to be your imaginary friend right now, who would it be?
You mean like a sex... Like... A fantasy?
No, not. So it can't be just like, oh, I want Arnold Schwarzenegger to be cool to hang out. Look, it has to be someone.
Then what am I looking for? What am I looking for in an imaginary friend? It can't be because I want to hang out with them or have sex with them.
So what do you want?
So like somebody I'm just like a bit passive aggressive towards or something. Someone I
Okay, so what
don't
if
really
they're
like.
imagining, but you actually got to hear that person's real stories in real life and get to chat with them? You know, like it's not.
So who would you have to dinner?
But then it would be
So it's
really
like a psychic.
bad
It's like
imaginary
you're basically
friend.
having a psychic connection to that person.
Who do you want to have a psychic connection with, Fred?
Yeah. What female
And
celebrity?
it can't be Arnold
It has to be
Schwarzenegger.
a female celebrity. Yeah.
The phone's going to go any second.
I don't know.
Kim Kardashian. See what Jay-Z's up to.
It's not Jesus. It's
Maybe
Kanye West.
Beyonce, yeah.
Kanye.
You mean the other black
Sorry.
guy?
Who's Kim? Oh, he's with Beyonce.
He's with Beyonce. Maybe Beyonce. Yeah.
Beyonce.
What? She'd have funny stories, I guess. I don't get what I'm looking for in this person. Just to hear their stories and hang out.
Yeah, like it's a friend.
Well, I don't know any of these people.
Imagine.
And I have to
So,
imagine, I have
do you
to
want-
imagine them exactly how they are, so they can
Yeah.
tell me stories that I have to imagine.
No. You imagine them like no one else can. No one else can see them, but you get to hear the real thoughts, the real
they're not
stories.
actually imaginary.
So to like, who do I want to talk to?
No, well, if let's say that your imaginary friend is Beyonce, right? She could be for you. She's sitting right there, but you have a psychic connection to the real Beyonce, so you get the real answers to the questions, but we can't see it. So you will know the real, you'll know the real truth to her relationship with Jay-Z, but you would still have to convince us when you explain. Because we can't see it. We think you're just crazy talking about.
Who are we going to think is crazy?
But vice versa, she'll be like, on her.
She'll have you as an imaginary. She'll be having dinner with Jay-Z and you'll be sat there.
But it's only stories that I've actually
She'll be like,
experienced.
yo, Jay-Z, I've just got this new friend. He's a physicist from Australia. He likes big butts. So would it be Beyonce?
Yeah, I'm going with Beyonce. Because why not?
What about you, Cam?
Christ. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. But I'm also their imaginary friend.
So what celebrity would you want to know all the stories about you? But no one believes when they tell them because they don't think you're real.
That's exactly right.
So which celebrity
it's
wants-
kind of like something, it's a truth that you know, but you can never tell anyone else because, well, you could tell them, but they wouldn't believe you. Like maybe like Princess Kate.
Pippa
You know,
Middleton.
You get to hear what's happening in the royal family all the
What
time.
happens when
but
you two meet?
in real life?
Yeah.
You self-combust, I don't know.
With both your
But
imaginary
I'm assuming you're picking someone you're unlikely to meet in real life.
But they might get intrigued by this.
Well,
Imaginary James
that'll
who
be
keeps
a
telling
good
them the
story.
stories
This is
about
why
them.
I'm writing a movie about it.
Oh, I don't even know. It's just the weirdest thing. James, who would you pick?
Well, I mean, obviously the original idea spawned from Jennifer Aniston, and I think I would ideally pick like someone like Natalie Portman, like getting to like hear about what it was like to work on the Star Wars films and working with George Lucas and
not George
Luc
Lucas's
Besson
daughter.
and the MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Does he have a daughter that's an MMA
Yeah, she's
fighter?
an MMA fighter. George Lucas's daughter's like an MMA fighter.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, someone like that. But I'm thinking for the movie, I would have to find someone more commercial that's popular now, like Kirsten Stewart or someone like that, but who I don't actually like. I have no interest personally, but for the purpose of getting this movie out there. Get to hear the stories of our Pats and stuff like that. Campbell, your question of the week is:
Yeah, my question of the week is
if you were tasked with, oh, you want to ask?
No, you can read it.
If you were tasked with creating a film version of any cult 80s or 90s IP, what would that be?
Yeah.
And I've actually answered this before, probably not on the question of the week, but I was looking through because every now and then I try and post highlights, and one one highlight that I've got cut out, which I haven't posted yet on our SoundCloud, is me.
Can you post
talking.
some more of those?
Pardon?
Post some
Well, I
more
try
of
and post one every week.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
But one I've got prepared for the future is one about me talking about Sequest.
So you reckon Sequest?
That would, if I was going to make a movie of some 90s property, it would be that, probably Sequest, I think.
What about what would you do? How would you handle it so that it wasn't like a remake of The Abyss, or it wasn't a remake? Like, how would it be? What is quintessentially Sequest to you? Because for me, it's the guy with
this
gills
is something
and a
else I
dolphin.
wanted to talk about, and I'm consuming, but I forgot about.
And
Is
the
that-
cool
This
camera
other show I've been
thing.
watching is called
Yeah.
Fresh Meat. Have you guys heard of that?
no.
It's like this British TV show.
I watched a few episodes of that. They go
Yeah.
to college.
Yeah, and it's got one of the In-Betweeners guys,
Yeah.
and it's
is
kind
it
of...
the rape
It's only
joke?
one of the
Yeah.
In-Betweeners, but it's kind of like the In-Betweeners go to college, but it's all these people, university students in England that live in a share house, and it's a big old, weird, dodgy house. And I love that genre of film where people live in a big place and they interact like
Harry Potter.
Spirited Away. I haven't seen Harry Potter.
The young ones?
Harry Potter.
The
You
young
love
ones.
Harry Potter. It's about these kids that go to a school of witchcraft and wizardry. It's wicked. So they're learning magic spells and stuff and go through puberty.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit too big. Like, this is...
smaller.
Yeah,
More like a
like I
submarine.
like Fight Club. They have that big house that they live in.
The Hunt for Red
together.
October. It's in a little.
Yeah,
sub.
yeah. So Subquest, Sequest is a similar thing. Like there's people living in this
Isn't
confined
it I
space.
thought it was kind of like Star Trek in the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
They
it's like that.
they travel
Yeah.
around and they sort of explore, and there's like a little story every.
yeah,
week.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all about
But they also,
discovery, whereas
as it goes
not
on,
really
it starts
horror.
to get more Star Warsy. Like they develop subs that can go really fast underwater, and they so they're having big sort of X-wing kind of battles and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So Sequest. So you'd focus on the fact that it's like
The chemistry of the characters living in this confined
Who would you
space
wanna cast
underwater,
in it? Who
but
would
it's
you-
like a city on it because it's such a big boat. You kind of have city, and that's the same with like aircraft carriers today. Like there's 3,000 people on board. Surely
Oh
there's
my
stories
God.
happening on these aircraft carriers.
probably a lot
yeah.
of rape. I'm guessing. Hazing, they call it.
And it's in the future, Sequest in the future. So it's 50% female, 50% male. So there's better demographics for that kind of stuff.
What about butts? Where's the pop culture on butts? Is it big butts, little butts? Where's your butt culture?
Someone needs to make a plot of. butts
I've also
versus-
wondered. I've also talked. I think on this podcast, I've talked about. I wish
I
there was
agree.
more shows like Pleasantville where people get transported back to a certain TV show and live in the universe of that TV show. Like, it'd be cool to go into the universe of
Like-
Seinfeld
like
or
Gumby, but for TV shows.
That'd be cool. Imagine jumping into an episode of Murder She Wrote.
yeah,
You could rub one out.
He could.
yeah.
Not me. Don't
Why am I the murder she wrote?
wankophile.
It's the
So
rumor that's been
what's
spread.
your idea, Cameron?
Yeah, I didn't really have one, but then I was thinking today, I don't know if this really counts, but maybe Around the Twist.
All right. Yep.
I don't
Maybe
know.
you could write books of the TV show.
Yeah. Just keep it looping
Was
backwards
it?
and
Then
forwards.
the Run Twist is based on Paul Jennings' books. isn't it?
Yeah, and then it turned into a TV show. That I might make it back into a books. But that'd be something that, that idea of these kids living in a lighthouse and like solving
It
mysteries.
wasn't solving
Yeah.
mysteries. It was just a crazy,
Crazy.
and there was no continuation of any of the.
Oh, each season had like an overarching mystery.
Yeah.
Did it? No.
Yeah.
Different villains, like
Yeah, I guess it. Did.
Well,
No.
one of them was that this ship was returning, and then
the
there was
first season
that
was Frankie
music.
J. Holden was the real estate agent. He
Yeah.
wanted to
Demolish
get
the
out.
lighthouse.
Yeah.
No, no, yeah, okay.
But there were those ghosts as well, and they were always hearing that haunting music, and the
Yeah,
ship
yeah.
was due to come in, and like, remember the episode with the clown? Fuck
Pretty
off!
terrifying.
You don't. Oh yeah, okay, that's the of that was terrifying. Yeah,
It was always because
remember
I
how
used to
scary
read the
that
books as
shit
well,
was, man.
and the books, every short story had different characters, and I was
Yeah.
always interested to see how they're going to translate it when they have to have the same characters each week.
The TV show was amazing. I mean, I don't know. I kind of came up with that question. I didn't have an answer, and I was like, well,
I actually met the producer of that,
I remember that. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite stories.
and I was just like, man, you realize your show, if nothing else, has the greatest theme song of all.
Yeah, it pretty much does. I sing it quite regularly.
Yeah.
That's another thing, and Liz will get really sick of me singing that.
If I remember, future James, put the intro song as the Round the Twist theme for this episode.
Yeah. So I'd probably tackle that. Kids in a Lighthouse.
Again, people who live in this
In a confined
building,
environment. Yeah, I love it. You know,
I mentioned Spirit Away. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Like that's in that one building.
and you've got sort of 3 age groups. You've got the older brother sister that is sort of like same age.
twins?
Were they twins? Or maybe they were. You've got Bronson,
yeah.
who's a little bit younger, and then
Yeah.
you've got the dad. So you can have like, and then you've got Nellie. Was it Nellie?
The old
Yeah, I
lady?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got like, you could have like these levels of content, I guess, where they're having different kind of tiers of adventure and tackling it in different ways. And I love that there's spooky shit
The
happening.
other thing about the one drawback of Round the Twist was that some of the short stories in Paul Jenks were I found really unsettling as a kid.
Yeah, I'd amp
But
up that a little
when
bit.
they have a TV show and they have familiar characters and you know they're going to survive
Yeah.
the next episode, you lost that a bit.
See, I remember one Paul Jennings short story, and I might have. Everyone who I've spoken to about this one tells me it wasn't a Paul Jennings story, and I've made it up or I've read it somewhere else. But it was about a kid who goes to a video store to rent out a video, and it's a snuff film.
That does not sound like
See, everyone. As soon as I say that, everyone goes, "No, that didn't
No,
happen."
I would believe that.
And it turns out that the snuff film is of his mum getting killed. Like he
No, it
knows,
does
no,
not
like
sound like-
he knows that it's his mum in it, but that's why he keeps renting it out to see her. I don't know where I
That
read
does
that
not
short
sound
story.
like a
I read it in
project.
primary school and it freaked me out. So maybe it wasn't a Paul Jennings.
It's the kind of story where I remember one really scary story was some guy tries to prove that he's not scared of anything by sleeping in this haunted house one night and
Yeah.
everything goes crazy. And I was just,
Yeah, see, I'd probably I like the idea of there being tiers. So maybe Bronson's stories are all really funny.
yeah.
The twins have some stories that are really scary, some that are funny, and the dad has ones that are like maybe like really fucking intense, but he's like dealing with all the really spooky ghost shit. But then you could have like one episode where it flips it, and Bronson has this like shit pants scary story, and the dad has like a zany one where he like gets a boner, and his dick's huge, and he's spraying 10 liters of cum. Anyway, that's my idea. Around the twist, twist it up. Oh,
the theme song's so great.
have you ever
Felt like this? Strange things happen. We going round the twist.
Well, have you heard the word about the bird and the spider? Wiggled and jiggled, wiggled inside you. I said, rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Hey, hey, have you ever
Felt like this. I don't know.
hey, have strange things happen and you're going round the twist?
So Fred,
That was amazing.
I would definitely not change a single thing about the theme song, though.
and it was actually sung by the original Tamsin.
Yeah.
Or, no, the actress was called Tamsin. The original girl.
Yeah. Who had amazing hair.
Man, if we
And
could,
eyebrows.
that would be
amazing
my
eyebrows.
That was would be an ultimate interview for me. If we could track down the original actress.
I had a huge crush on her.
Yeah.
I'd like to be her
I get
imaginary
it. I heard last I
Trying to
heard she
find out
lives
what she
in
looks like
England. But
Which one are you guys talking
Tamsin
about?
West, I think her name is. I don't remember.
Tamsin
What's your show that you would have, Fred?
80s, 90s, whatever. Like,
I don't.
is it Murder, She Wrote?
Sure. That was 90s.
It was 80s. 80s, 90s. Just something from when you were younger.
And you want to make a film version of it?
Or, take it on as a TV show.
yeah.
Like, readapt it.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything.
Seinfeld?
Doesn't need to be redone.
Oh, but what about Twitter? It's changed everything. How would those guys react?
Nobody would know.
You guys
we can't know.
didn't keep up with Curb, did you? And see the Seinfeld reunion?
No.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything right now. Something from my childhood.
Biker Mice
What was
from
your
Mars.
favourite TV series?
BMX Bandits.
What, Nicole Kidman?
I think I only ever read the book of that.
There's a book?
I'm pretty sure there was a book in primary school.
Wow. So would you adapt it straight from the original source material?
Yeah.
You'd like skip the film.
No.
Straight to the book.
Yep.
What about Saddle Club.
Never read it.
What about that? What was that one about the surfing high school?
That's still on.
Oh,
That one.
that's the one.
Sorry, that round of twist girl.
Yeah. Huge crush.
I like the other one better.
Around.
She was in the clown episode. Terrifying, man.
I
That
think
was
the other
straight
one's-
scary. What other one? Show me the other one.
This one.
Fred's showing pictures of the Round the Twist female cast
It's not a
members.
very good photo.
It's later episodes, man.
Yeah, no, I remember the
I
I remember
doubt
the
it.
second one being a bit hotter, but the first one was
Well,
something special about
Well,
it.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
second one
I
was
can't
more
remember.
classically beautiful, but the first one was the proper hottie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot like in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, not
Where
this.
the,
What argument that started like 10 years ago?
Oh, who's hottie now next week? Let's find those actresses and see
Wasn't
who's
that like
hottie
the
now.
first episode was the first
Yeah,
who's
that
the
was how
hottie
it
now.
started.
No, of the characters that Tamsin Weiss played.
Oh, the Round the Twist
Yeah, yeah.
girls. All right.
Ocean Girl.
So we've got a suggestion here.
Oh,
for,
Fred would remake Ocean Girl.
I met the director of that. And
Such a media show. No offense to the director. It's one of those shows
he
that's always on.
also directed.
I remember watching it at your house.
He's actually, if I could, I should get him on this podcast because he's like, I think he was born in America, so has an American accent, but his whole career has been in Australia, and he also directed Flipper, which the TV series of Flipper, which had Jessica Alba in it before she was like a megastar. And he's a huge windsurfer. That's why he's moved to Perth just to windsurf and direct, ship to shore. Whatever.
Oh, you wouldn't tackle Ship to Shore,
Oh,
James?
yeah.
No, he didn't do ship to shore, but
No, I'm saying you wouldn't pick Ship to Shore to remake.
Oh, I would consider it. Yeah.
Do you guys remember in primary school or high school when one of the actors from Ship to Shore gave like a motivational talk?
Yeah,
Did that happen?
Igor Sass.
Yeah.
Yeah. His daughter is the same age as us, and she's insanely hot. Francois.
What, is she the chick in the wheelchair? No.
No.
Was
We met her in
she was
Levers,
on Ship
remember?
to Shore though, right?
Yeah, but we met her in Levers, remember, and we were partying with her. But Alex, the older girl from Ship to Shore, right? Alex said he was a Domino's delivery driver for ages, and he said he turned up at one house and met her, and she was like a heroin addict, and yeah,
Perth Goss
yeah.
with James Bonifacks.
We've got Campbell, did you put this in here?
What?
A suggestion for Welcome to the Internet?
Yeah, I mean, did we? I don't think I was ever here for a Welcome to the Internet.
Oh.
This is one of James's segments. I think I listened in once,
Oh, okay.
and it was difficult.
This is
So,
way
do you want
too-
me to read it, or are you going to read it?
No, I think you should. You do Welcome.
What
to
am
the
I
Internet.
reading?
No, you read this.
I only just
email.
noticed this then, so I...
Okay, you read the email that.
This one?
So, no, I think it's the next block of text, maybe. So, a film reviewer at which newspaper was it? Sorry,
Is it Roger Ebert?
no, not Roger.
Earlier
Ebert.
this week, the perpetually entertaining film critic Roger Ebert...
No, he just reposted this story
okay.
essentially.
a
reporter.
very discursive story from a film critic in Buffalo named Michael
Buffalo.
Caleri.
Essentially, his editor, he writes film reviews, and his editor told him to stop reviewing all these feminist films with strong female leads, and he won't publish any of them. And he asked for further clarification from his editor, and this email came through.
All right, and it says, below is the email received exactly as written.
Here you go. James is going to welcome to... This isn't technically welcome
And then
to
we
the
might
Internet,
have to
but-
sign off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael, I know you are committed to writing your reviews and put a lot of effort into them. It is important for you to have the right publisher. I may not be it. I have deep moral objection to publishing reviews of films that offend me. Snow White and the Huntsman is such a film. When my boys were young, I would never have allowed them to go to such a film, for I believe it would injure their developing manhood. If I would not let my own son see it, why would I want to publish anything about it? Snow White and the Huntsman is trash, moral garbage, a lot of fuzzy feminist thinking and pandering to creepy Hollywood mores produced by metrosexual imbeciles. I want to publish reviews of films where women are alpha and men are beta. where women are heroes and villains and men are just lesser versions or shadows of females. I believe in manliness. Not even on the web would I want to attach my name to Snow White and the Huntsman, except to deconstruct its moral rot and its appeal to unmanly, perfidious creeps. I'm not sure what Headhunter has to offer either, but of what I read about it, sounds kind of creepy and morally repugnant. Of all the publications in the world who glorify what I find offensive, it should not be hard for you to publish your reviews with any number of these. They seem to like critiques from an artistic standpoint without a word about the moral turpitude seeping into the consciousness of young people who go to watch such things as Snow White and get indoctrined to the Hollywood agenda of glorifying degenerate power women and promoting as natural the weakling, hyena-like men come eunuchs. The male as lesser encouraged strength and power than female. It may be okay for some, but it's not my kind of manliness. If you care to write reviews where men act like good strong men and have a heroic, inspiring influence on young people to build up their character, if there are such movies being made, I will be made to publish these. I am not interested in supporting the reversing of traditional gender roles. I don't want to associate the Niagara Falls reporter with trash of Hollywood and their ilk. It is my opinion that Hollywood has robbed America of its manliness and made us a nation of eunuchs who, lacking all manliness, welcome in the coming police state. Now I realize that you have a relationship with the studios, etc., and I would have been glad to have discussed this in person with you to help you seek into another relationship with a publication, but in so much as we spent 50 minutes on the phone from Paris, I didn't want to take up more of your time. In short, I don't care to publish reviews of films that offend me. If you cared to condemn the filmmakers as the pandering weasels they are, true hyenas, I would be interested in that, Frank. That was difficult to read because it has the worst punctuation and
apparently it's been transcribed verbatim or copied out exactly.
There's one bit that stood out to me, but I can't remember now.
It's quite impressive.
I don't know what this...
I know. What can you say to that?
Guy's just a nutter.
Yeah. But, welcome to the internet.
Have you listened to the other Welcome to the Internet segments?
Yeah, I thought I'd class it up with this.
Okay.
I know, this is very classy comedy.
Yeah. I did listen to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Krusty Seaman show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever James mentions T-shirts, that's all I can think of.
So maybe next week, James, if you want to bring back Welcome to the Internet. And we should bring back Who's the Hottie Now.
We should got to wrap up.
Let's research during the week the versions of that Round the Twist character.
Twist. All right.
And we'll report back.
Adios, dear listeners. Thank you for tuning in for another Fang.
Thanks. Don't forget you can find us at fangaround.com. All the information is there. Listener mail segment if you want to write us in and be part of our listener mail segment. Also on the host page or cast page, I'm not sure what I call it now, you can find links to all our websites. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later. See ya.
Adios.
Bye.